The ANC-led coalition will now have to decide who to appoint to the position. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations of police corruption has heard details of how politicians were allegedly pushing for the purchase of a 45 million rand cell phone grabber to be used at the ANC's 2017 National Conference. Diani Hlungwane, who was at the head of the Finance for Admin Services at Crime Intelligence and had control over the Secret Service account, told MPs that the fund was a great source of financial abuse. The grabber was to be purchased at inflated prices using cash from the secret slush fund. Hlungwane was giving oral evidence before the ad hoc committee yesterday, telling MPs that he was targeted because he refused to sign off on the grabber. Babalondenze reports.
Tiani Hlungwane gave his evidence on a voluntary basis and is not considered a witness by the committee. He told members that the purchase of the grabber for the ANC's NASREC conference was the beginning of the end for him, and he was pushed out of crime intelligence. He said the purchase was designed to channel funds to the ANC, according to official documents.
It was going to be used to fund this conference. Even Mr. McBride, he came here. He was investigating this thing.
He alleges that former Police Commissioner Kehlas Tole was approached by former Police Minister Fikile Mbalula, and he was part of the plan.
General Tole implicates Mbalula. He says
Definitely
he was part of the plan.
Definitely. It says he was approached by Minister Mbalula.
Hlungwane also told the committee that the legal department in crime intelligence was also sidelined, which he says could have affected national security. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
KZN Hawks boss Lesija Sinona has concluded his testimony before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry after testifying at length on the Hawks' Port Shepstone storage facility. The facility was broken into on several occasions. Despite this, during testimony yesterday, it emerged that the facility has no alarm system or CCTV cameras on site. Oren Singh has more.
In November 2021, 541 kilograms of cocaine worth 200 million rand mysteriously vanished from the Hawks' offices in Port Shepstone on the KwaZulu-Natal south coast. At the time, the Hawks labelled the incident as a case of break-in and theft. But to date, no one has been arrested. Testifying at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday, KZN Hawks boss Lesija Sinona said someone sold them out, but it wasn't him. Evidence leader Adila Hassim read out a document that highlighted the shortfalls in terms of security at the Port Shepstone facility.
1, no CCTV cameras are installed in and around the premises. 2, there's no early warning alarm systems in place within the office space, more especially in offices located on the ground floor. 3, no beam sensors located exterior to the office accommodation.
Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
We shift our focus to this now. President Cyril Ramaphosa has granted an extension to the inquiry investigating Johannesburg Prosecution's boss, Advocate Andrew Chauke. The inquiry, chaired by retired Justice Bess Ngabinde, was set up to investigate Chauke's fitness to hold office. But since its establishment in September last year, the inquiry has only heard testimony from one witness, who is outgoing Prosecution's boss, Advocate Shamila Batoyi. Batoyi abandoned her testimony last month, asking to be allowed legal advice. But even as proceedings resumed this week, there have been further delays with the inquiry, hearing that evidence leaders are experiencing reluctance from some witnesses. Ramaphosa's spokesperson, Vincent Magwenya, says the president has agreed to give the inquiry more time.
The original date for the completion of the inquiry and submission of a final report was 30 January 2026. President Ramaphosa has extended this period to 30 June 2026 as a result of a delay in the commencement of the proceedings of the inquiry.
And British pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca has pledged to invest $15 billion in China. The investment will run through 2030 to expand the company's medicines manufacturing as well as research. The announcement was made during a trip by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer to Beijing. China is AstraZeneca's second largest market after the United States. Starmer's visit to China is the first by a British Prime Minister since 2018, with the intention to build better working relations between the two nations. Gold is trading at $5,331.03 an ounce. The rand is at 15.76 to the dollar, 21.75 to the pound, 18.85 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $68.40 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays reported on the N3 South towards Modderfontein Road due to roadworks. And there's also queuing traffic already on the Mike 1 North between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange.
And in your sport, Quinton de Kock smashes 115 as the Proteas beat the West Indies by 7 wickets to win the T20 series. Live men's semi-final on the go at the Australian Open. Alcaraz and Zverev on court doing battle. And in netball, the Spa Proteas beat England by 4 in the first of 3 tests.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with scattered afternoon showers expected. Joburg starts at a low of 15 degrees, peaking at a high of 25. Pretoria 17 and 28 and Vereniging 16 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The city of Joburg is set to spend at least 1.2 million rand per annum on paying a deputy mayor.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Your brain's a well-oiled machine. Now put it to work in the brain of 702. Enter on PrimeMediaPlus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock, it is a Friday. Welcome one, welcome all. Looking forward to your company for the next 3 hours. Did you hear what Mbali Dlamini just read? The city of Joburg wants to spend 1.2 million rand of your money to pay a deputy mayor. For 140 years, this city has stood, never having had a deputy mayor. Why all of a Sunday? Another seat on the gravy train in a year in which we're expected to go to the elections? Are we trying to reward somebody? Are we trying to align so that we can make sure our coalition arrangements work? So that even if we don't get the support, we know we've got backup and we can still stay in power? Do you buy it? The president instituting a special investigation on 9 cops implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Welcome news, certainly. For too long, inquiries have yielded precious little. But what about Senzo Mkhunu? The suspended minister, Senzo Mkhunu. I heard somebody call him Senzo Mkhunu not too long ago. Why is he not being investigated? So little trust does our president have in existing structures that are meant to look at wrongdoing by police officers. He wants a special investigation team. It brings up a question for our shout-out this morning.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Which is simply this. Are you a good person because you are just a good person? Or do you do good really only because you don't want to go to jail? You don't want to be caught doing the bad thing. You don't want to lose your reputation. But if you could get away with it, you would do bad too. What makes you a law-abiding citizen, a good person to those around you? What makes you not take the brown envelope? Is it because you fundamentally think you're a good person? Or is it because you think, I'm too cute to go to jail? Right? I wouldn't want the reputational damage in my circle of friends, in my family. That's why I abide by the rules. How hard is it to do the right thing if you know you can get away with doing the wrong thing? Just think about it. Just think about it. Let us know on 072-702-1702. Send us a voice note. You can call us on 011-883-0702.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9
But before we do anything else, lest a lot of good people start doing the wrong thing, and called me names. I'm not alone, of course. As always, I've got my team of esteemed colleagues with me in the studio. And if there's one thing we do on a Friday morning, it is this. A one, two, three.
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday. See, now that's out of the way. My colleagues Muteo and Amo Ramila, very good morning to you. Happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday,
Happy
Bongs.
Friday, Bongs.
So, answer my question, Muteo. Do you do good because you believe fundamentally you're a good person? Or is it because you know deep down, doing the wrong thing is just, it costs too much?
Are you guys going to judge me?
Never. This is a
because
safe space.
I know the consequences, and also because of societal norms and values. Otherwise,
if you could get away with doing the wrong thing, if nobody would ever find out.
People generally are chance takers. I'm not speaking for everyone, but like generally we're chance takers, but it's those things that stop you. The fact that you know there are going to be consequences. And knowing my luck, I'm going to be the example. So
Amo?
No, man, I'm a good person through and through. I function from being a moral, a person with good morals.
Of course you
That's
do.
where everything begins.
Of course you do. So psychologists have studied these things, right? And sociologists probably too. And they say there is about 10% of the population that will always do the bad thing, right? These are the devils, the dogs, the ones who do the bad thing anyway, right? There's about 10% on the other extreme of people who will stand on principle no matter what it costs them, right? Kill my wife, it's fine. Take my children, it's fine. You see, you're already going, That 10% is unmovable. The rest of us are in the 80% in between. So we'll swing more likely towards the good if that's what serves our interests more broadly. And we will swing towards the bad if that's what serves our interests more broadly. So in a society where corruption reigns supreme, most people don't mind paying the bribe. Most people don't mind pushing through the queue because that's how that society functions. Again, in a society where the rule of law is supreme, most people will swing towards doing the right thing because they know that's how that society functions.
So you mentioned 10% is the bad.
So there's 10% that are extremely bad.
80 is
and
the middle.
10% that's extremely good.
Yeah, I'm
And
extremely good. I'm there by the other 10.
The lies we tell ourselves. Where do you stand? Let us know.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
I asked the question for two reasons. One, we've been trying to get Minister Barbara Creasy to come on the show. She's, of course, the Transport Minister, and scheduling just hasn't allowed. And one of the reasons we wanted to speak to her was this new proposal to have 0.00% as your alcohol limit when you are behind the wheel. So I think currently now you have to be below 0.05%, right? The Business Day today in their editorial reminds us that the penalty for driving under the influence in South Africa is 120,000 Rand maximum. It's 120,000 Rand as a fine and up to 6 years behind bars. And they're saying just in this festive season period, over 8,500 drivers were pulled aside for driving under the influence. And the simple question or the simple point is this: how many of those do you think are going to get 120,000 Rand as a fine or spend 6 years in jail? So if the government is unable to enforce the 0.05%, how on earth are they going to enforce 0.0%? So the issue isn't changing the law and getting the headlines and the attention from the media and being seen as a tough minister. The point is enforce the rules that are already there and people won't break them. But if you don't enforce them, people will break them. Let's come to the story that developed overnight from yesterday afternoon, really. The presidency announcing an investigation into at least 9 individuals heavily implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Those 9 cops from Ekurhuleni, including the one who's been testifying this week, the KZN Hawks boss, right? And I'll play you some clips from his testimony during the show. Why is Senzo Mchunu not being investigated? Doesn't the fish rot from the head? So little trust does the president have in existing structures like IPID, for example, that are meant to investigate cops that go rogue, that he wants a special task team to be set up. And we heard from the police minister last night that indeed that's exactly what's going to happen. Some of the people that are recommended for investigation haven't even come through to the Madlanga Commission yet. That's how solidly the commission believes they are implicated. But being implicated at a commission doesn't mean you're on your way to orange overalls. There still needs to be an investigation and a case made in a court of law. Right? So, doesn't that tell you that these officers thought they could get away with it? Because even at this stage, with all the evidence the country has seen at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, IPID is not up to the task as far as the presidency is concerned, which tells you, had Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi not said anything, they would have walked away happily into the sunset. Wouldn't you do the wrong thing if you had that assurance, if you had that confidence that you'd get away with it? Come now.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
All right. I mean, I want to play some of the clips from the Madlanga Commission. Particularly this week, we've heard from the to illustrate exactly the point I'm making. But I'd love to hear from you on 072-702-1702. Now, Buteo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning, would you say you're a more cautious person or someone who always throws caution to the wind? So
it depends.
And as well, were you a risk taker when you were younger and responsibility and kids have made you far softer than you used to be? Or you always have been the daredevil?
I'm both. It depends on what the situation is. There are things that as I get older, I'm prepared to take more risks on than I would have when I was younger because of, vulnerability, right? Learning to just be brave and putting yourself out there. But there are ways in which I've become a lot more conservative than I was when I was a kid around security and building stability and all of those sorts of things. So it really depends on the situation.
Amu, risk taker or cautious?
Somewhere in between. I'd say somewhere in between there. There's certain things that physical activities, I don't even need to think twice. I will take that risk. But if it's more things that have to do with income, and I'm more cautious when it comes to those.
I don't know. I look back on my younger life and I realize that I'm not the guy I used to be. Because the things I used to do without thinking.
Yeah.
But now it's just like,
I can tell you for free, I wouldn't have bungee jumped in my youth, and I'm certainly not going to do it now.
702.
Weather.
19 after 6. What conditions can you expect on this Friday? A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Scattered afternoon showers expected. A maximum of 25 degrees in Joburg. Your high in Pretoria and Vereeniging is 28. Clear skies for Cape Town. A high of 30 degrees. Gqeberha max is at 28. Is London 27. Durban 29.
EWN Traffic.
20 after 6, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got peak time delays already on the N3 North in the Germiston area. This is between the Elands turn off and Van Buren Road. There's also slow-moving traffic on the N3 South towards Bedford View. This is due to roadworks right near Modderfontein Road. And if you are traveling in the Sharon Lee area, do expect delays on Malibongo Drive towards the N1. I'll have more traffic updates for you, but if you come across anything else on the roads, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the eager beaver driving to meet the woman of his dreams. Butterflies in his stomach, GPS on full volume. He checks his hair for the 7th time. Looking good. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a possible love story on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. 702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Morning, Bongani and the team. I have a question. Have you ever driven in the yellow lane? If you have never driven in the yellow lane, then you are generally a good person, even if no one is seeing you.
Good morning, Bongani. Good morning, the team. Listen, quick one. Talking about being a good citizen in everything, I think we're all good people until we're tested. Lalela. The 200 million worth of cocaine in an unsecured place, that would put anyone in place of temptation. I mean, we'll watch your morals and best behavior and good citizenship go straight out the window. But that kind of money, I mean, no matter how good you are, temptation is just temptation. Sandile from Kempton Park.
Sandile in Kempton Park, I think that's probably closer to the real story than anything else. Have you broken the rules because you knew you could get away with it? That's about the only reason 80% of us are likely to be on the right side of the law and societal norms and values, because we know, or at least we don't dare, get away with it.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Are you one of those counting down to the FIFA World Cup? Will you be traveling to the United States to live it, to experience it, to feel it this June? Or are you staying as far away as you can? That excitement, of course, will ramp up today. President Cyril Ramaphosa will receive the original FIFA World Cup trophy. This is during the official trophy tour. This is happening at the Union Buildings today. This historic tournament will be hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and will kick off in spectacular fashion on the 11th of June in Mexico City, where the co-hosts will face South Africa in the opening match. So it will be a rematch, essentially, of the opening game of the 2010 World Cup. Wouldn't it be marvelous if we win that 1-0, hey? What did they win? They
it was
won
1-1.
It was 1-1 and
yeah.
It was a draw, hey?
Yeah, it was a draw.
Yes, because I remember there's some pure Shabala like, oh.
I think we should win one.
And we should have him there. You know, to give the
Talisman.
Bafana,
Yes.
yeah, guys, a big, pep talk. Wouldn't that be amazing? Listen to this. The Royal Navy is tightening the taps in a move to curb heavy drinking and align with government health targets. Sailors have now been instructed to go alcohol-free for at least 2 days each week.
Sailors?
Yes.
What's the saying again?
We're just 2 weeks as drunk as a sailor.
So no more.
Sailor.
No
No more
more.
drunken sailors. Under new guidelines informed by military doctors, crews will be limited to 14 units of alcohol per week, roughly 6 pints of beer on certain days at sea. And now, of course, this alcohol policy on board ships is something we're going to hear a little bit more about from Adam Gilchrist in The World View. Now, come on. Do you think Joburg really needs a deputy mayor? We have had for 140 years that the city has stood no deputy mayor. Is this, you think, an indication of the abject failure of the likes of Dada Murero and Kabelo Gwamanda? Do you remember him? Batate Gwamamanda, but no, right? Batate Kanda, Batate Bulldozer. I'm a big guy. I'm a bulldozer. I'm a big guy. Deputy mayor. Come on, man.
Should we stop you now?
Come on. Or do you think in an election cycle, parties are already lining up what their coalitions could look like come voting time? Or even in the build-up, let's firm up our coalitions and offer and dangle this carrot and see what happens. 1.2 million rand of your money? Would it be well spent? Let us know. South African distributors Filmfinity, along with cinema chains New Metro and Ster-Kinekor, have abruptly pulled the U.S. First Lady Melania Trump's documentary, Melania, 20 Days to History. And it's set, or at least the so-called, do I even call it a documentary? It's meant to chronicle the 20 days leading up to Donald Trump's return to the White House. Amazon has spent a truckload of money on this so-called documentary. And the idea, of course, is to warm up and cozy up to the Trumps. Presumably, there's been such a lack of interest that New Metro and Ster-Kinekor thought there's no way we're going to provide that cinema space for something nobody's going to watch. Has it made you more curious now that they're not going to be showing it? Do you want to see it? Or could you be, what do they say, the kids? You couldn't be bothered. On this day, 1979, disco queen Donna Summer and the legendary Barbara Streisand struck gold, literally, as their powerhouse duet, No More Tears, Enough Is Enough, earned gold certification. And of course, it went on to dominate the charts as a major disco hit.
702.
The newspapers.
The newspapers, Mbali Dlamini, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongs.
What's grabbing your attention?
Well, do you remember when the city of Joburg released owls into communities to tackle the
rat problem
infestation? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll do you one better this morning.
Oh,
In
gosh.
Euro Weekly News, there's a report about crows in Sweden that are being paid peanuts, literal peanuts, to clear the streets of cigarette butts and other types of litter. So instead of dealing with human behavioral problems, we're now training crows to actually do the job for us. COVID Cleaning is a startup that trains the crows using positive reinforcement, and it's come up with this pilot program in which the crows, they pick up the litter from the streets and dispose of it in these bins that dispense food rewards in terms of peanuts.
Right. Adds new meaning to paid peanuts.
Paid peanuts.
Paid peanuts. All right. The front page of the Sowetan, Madlanga stings. A new task team to probe the 9 cops implicated in the Commission's interim report. The front page of the Business Day, NERSA grants tariff relief to save 24,000 jobs. This is the energy regulator of South Africa, giving South Africa's ferrochrome majors, Samancor and Glencore Merafe Chrome Venture, a hefty 35% electricity relief in a desperate measure to save the country's smelters and thousands of jobs. The front page of the Citizen, stop wasting our money. They told us this week about government not using a budget, increased by nearly 21 billion rand to create jobs for unemployed doctors. And now the Gauteng Health Department has unspent almost R1 billion and it's handed it back to Treasury. And the Mail and Guardian is thinking about the EFF and its future, possibly without Julius Malema.
EWN Business.
Are we risk takers or risk averse? Muteo wants to know. Have kids and marriage and age changed the daredevils we once were? What prompts the question?
Bongani, the rand is shooting the lights out. Inflation is quite contained in South Africa, and gold and other precious metals are seeing prices rise. But the South African Reserve Bank decided to take a very cautious approach, choosing to leave the repo rate unchanged at 6.75%. Some say it was a missed opportunity to cut rates and relieve under pressure consumers. The decision announced by Central Bank Governor Lesija Kganyago in Pretoria yesterday keeps commercial banks' prime interest rate at 10.25%. The SARB governor says 2025 was marked by extreme global uncertainty, and 2026 has begun with a new round of shocks, which has led to the SARB's wait-and-see approach. Now, the SARB says current global trade agreements formed outside of multilateral systems are a big risk to the rand and inflation. Kganyago says South Africa's 30% tariff is also a big domestic risk. Now, 2 members favored a cut of 25 basis points, while 4 voted to hold interest rates. Kganyago says when you have a split decision, you should also celebrate that, because that means there is no group thinking in the MPC. The SARB's announcement follows the US Fed's decision to also hold rates. So 4 of them quite cautious, 2 of them risk takers.
I was interested also to note his concerns about the ongoing risk of the AI bubble as part of the cautionary note in their decision. So where's all of that left your indicators?
Well, the rand at 15.83 after that decision, slightly lower against the dollar, but still in a good position this morning. 18 rand 87 against the euro, 21 rand 18 cents against the British pound. Price of gold $5,223 an ounce. Platinum at $2,517. Brent crude now at $68.48 a barrel. More business after 7.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Let's go straight to Mbali Dlamini. And of course, in this next half an hour, the political desk looking back at the week that was. But Mbali, let's start with the Auditor General.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The Auditor General's office has told the Tshwane municipality to tighten its internal controls and consequence management if it wants a clean audit. For the third consecutive year, the Metro has received a qualified audit opinion with findings. This means while the city's financial statements are largely accurate, there are still a few material errors. Thabiso Koba reports.
On the financial front, the Auditor General has raised concerns over the Tshwane municipality's unauthorized, irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure, which has risen to over 5 billion rand. While on the service delivery front, the municipality is also leaking money. The AG's report says the city has recorded 21% of electricity distribution losses and 39% in non-revenue water. This is water and electricity which the municipality loses before it reaches the customer, primarily due to leaks and illegal connections. Speaking before the Tshwane Council yesterday, Senior Auditor Xolani Zikwele says these are some of the reasons the municipality's audit opinion has remained stagnant.
Overall, I think from a performance information point of view, we are noting that the number of indicators affected by either material misstatements or measurability issues are reducing. However, the extent of the remaining ones still remain concerning.
Tshwane Mayor Nasipi Moya says the municipality is committed to resolving the issues raised by the AG. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
The ANC's national executive views Abatembu King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo's recent visit to Israel as an insult and betrayal. Dalindyebo recently stunned the Eastern Cape provincial leadership after learning that he had also taken Israeli diplomats to state hospitals in the province to arrange donations. Yesterday, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula said the King's behavior is an affront to Palestinians who have been dying at the hands of Israel's aggression. Hostilities between the two countries escalated after government filed a case in the International Court of Justice 2 years ago, alleging Israel has been committing genocide in Gaza. Mbalula says it's no secret that the ANC does not support Israel.
What the king is doing there is a betrayal of solidarity with the Palestinians. And doing it arrogantly and blatant like that, it's unbelievable.
In the courts, 11 members of the Western Cape Anti-Gang Unit are due in the Western Cape High Court today for a bail appeal hearing. 10 of the accused were denied bail in December last year after appearing in the Athlone Magistrates Court for the alleged murder of Manenberg resident Wade Price. The officers are charged with murder, kidnapping, assault, torture and defeating the ends of justice after Price died while being interrogated in police custody. NPA spokesperson Eric Ndabazalila.
They were denied bail on the 23rd of December, but we know now that they are appealing, making a bail appeal. Our investigation is continuing. We've received a post-mortem report, but we still have a DNA report that's outstanding, as well as the crime scene reports that are still outstanding.
And the late king of Afrobeats, Fela Kuti, will be celebrated by the global music industry this weekend. The Nigerian-born star will posthumously receive a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys. It comes almost 3 decades after his death at the age of 58. Fela Kuti will be the first African to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. Other musicians who will receive the award at this year's Grammys include Mexican-American guitarist Carlos Santana, Shaka Khan, the American singer known as the Queen of Funk, as well as Paul Simon. The 2026 Grammys, hosted by Trevor Noah, will broadcast live from Los Angeles on Sunday. A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with scattered afternoon showers expected. Lows of between 15 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got roadworks taking place in Tembisa. This is along the R21 North heading towards the city of Tshwane. You can still use the N1 North if you want to avoid those roadworks that are taking place. And then if you are traveling in the city of Tshwane along the R80, we've got heavy traffic volumes. This is between the R513 towards Eskiampahlele Drive exit.
The top story in EWN, the Auditor General's office has told the Tshwane municipality to tighten its internal controls and consequence management if it wants a clean audit.
This message is brought to you by Eskom, redefining for a better future.
Are you running a business? Every rand counts. Save electricity and cut costs by switching off lights, computers and aircons after hours. Use energy-efficient lighting and equipment and make saving electricity part of your daily routine. Smart energy habits mean lower bills and greener business future. Let's power success efficiently.
Let's use electricity wisely. Eskom.
Do you suffer from migraines? Have you been previously diagnosed by a doctor and treated for migraine? Ask your pharmacist about previously prescribed migraine treatments that are now available without prescription. Brought to you by Sandoz.
Your office is more than just a place to work. It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way, from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
Driver on the road or driver on the golfing green?
Auto & General covers the world's best drivers.
Auto & General, the official regional insurance partner of Live Golf South Africa 2026 and 702 are putting your driver knowledge to the test.
For your chance to win a share of 100,000 Rand.
Up to the challenge? WhatsApp 072 702 1702 with the keyword Auto & General and follow the prompts.
Every day next week, 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa could call you back to play. Thanks to Auto & General on 702.
TCs and more on primemediaplus.com.
Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi, Bongs. Jay here. I think I'm a little too cute, eh? I'm a little too cute to go to jail here. Yeah. I am terrified of that place. Let me tell you. But on a serious note, I'm just a good person. I'm a good person. I can't hold grudges. I just can't retaliate in doing something bad to someone. Well, to the extent of going to jail. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's me. Jay from Kempton Park.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Well, I believe I'm a good person through and through. Well, I'm not sure about the other things, but acquiring money through corruption, like the brown envelope, nah, there's definitely not me. I've always believed that success is achieving without compromising your morals and ethics. So, no, I'm a good person. Judith in Pretoria.
You're a good person. Is it because you are fundamentally good deep down, or is it because you know you wouldn't get away with doing bad? And remember, there are certain things that are just morally repulsive to each of us, and those may differ. So perhaps, yeah, you won't take the brown envelope, but might you flirt more than you should in ways in which you wouldn't if your partner was around? Do you follow what I'm trying to say? So we'll all be good in a particular way, but we also have an Achilles heel in another. We're talking, of course, about the announcement yesterday about an investigation, a special task team that will investigate people heavily implicated in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. This includes Julius Mkhwanazi, who is the suspended deputy chief of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police. He's the one accused of the blue lights. He apparently was the one responsible for fitting blue lights into cars used by Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. We've also got those 3 Metro cops who were accused of torturing and murdering somebody and then dumping the body in a mine dump. There was also, remember Dr. Imogen Mashazi? She with her bling outfits, right? She's the one who is accused of protecting Julius Mkhwanazi and making sure that nothing implicated him, no charges against him would stick, including, of course, Major General Liseja Sinon, the Hawks head from KZN. He's accused of all sorts of things, including sharing sensitive information with Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. And he says, no, I mean, some of his explanations, he'd be like, no, I just shared it. I didn't even read it. I didn't even look at it. I was just, because he's my guy and we talk about what's going on in the news. Yesterday, interestingly, he was asked about Babita Deokaran. And he says, yeah, no, I heard that story. And they said, yeah, what did you hear? He says, no, I heard it on the radio. Yes, what about the story did you hear? No, that it was just a whistleblower. Who did what? No, I don't know. Because, of course, remember his friend Madlanga was implicated in the Tembisa Hospital corruption saga. And he continued, even though he's the head of the Hawks in KZN, being chums with this Madlanga. So, of course, he must now say he didn't know that he was implicated in the Tembisa Hospital saga. Right? Are we good because we're good? Or do some of us envy some of these people because they really, really thought they'd get away with it?
EWN Sports.
Cindy Paluta, of course, we've got a World Cup starting this weekend.
Next weekend.
Yes. Next weekend. And the Proteas look like they've set themselves up really, really nicely.
Yeah, they look on form, they look on track. They beat the West Indies by 7 wickets last night. They've won the T20 series with 1 game to go. Proteas chased down the 222-run target with an over to spare. Man of the match, Quinton de Kock, making 115 or 49. His partnership with Ryan Rickleton worth 162 as Rickleton finished unbeaten on 77. It was de Kock's first home T20 in 3 years, and the second T20 century of his career, which included 10 sixes and 6 fours.
We know this wicket. Chasing, we've done it quite a few times over the years, so it's just a matter of just assessing what's going to happen and then just doing what we've done in the past. A good start was needed, and I think Aiden took that upon himself to really have a crack up front. Obviously got out, and then after that it was just about picking the right bowler or the right time to get 1 or 2 boundaries. From there it was just about momentum.
Pakistan beat Australia by 22 runs in a first T20. Australia unable to chase down the 169-run target in Lahore. Australian Open men's semi-final tennis on the go, where Alcaraz leads Zverev 1-0, taking the first set 6-4. The winner will play either Sinner or Djokovic. Here's Djokovic on facing the defending champion Sinner.
I lost to him 4 or 5 in a row, so yeah, he's just playing on such a high level right now along with Carlos, they're 2 best players in the world. So I mean, absolute favorite, but you never know. Hopefully I can deliver my A game for that matchup, because that's what's going to be needed at least to have a chance.
He is Djokovic, but that blister,
no,
that
it's
hasn't
not even.
healed.
No, we can't even talk about blisters and stuff. Yannick Sinner is
yeah, no.
absolute precision.
But what my point though is, even though he's Djokovic, with that blister,
Oh,
and Yannick's,
with the blister,
yeah, no,
he's got a good chance.
No,
Oh.
I'm saying with that blister, he has no chance.
Oh, no
On
chance.
top of it being Sinner.
So nothing to do with the fact that his game, he's not at his peak.
Djokovic.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
picked
of course,
and he's coming up against Sinner, who is
at his peak.
Like what? Like 15 years younger than him.
No, that's what I'm saying, that Djokovic would have to have everything
Imagine-
aligned for him.
Just imagine
to
even
win.
just going to run 100 meters against a 15-year-old now. Like you just
Not happening.
Tomorrow is the women's final between Sabalenka and Rybakina. In netball, Spa Proteas pulled off a phenomenal 52-48 win over England in the first test at Ellis Park Arena last night. Coach Jenny van Dijk.
Fantastic performance by the team tonight, even though we think we can do much better. Solid start and leading into halftime and built quite a lead. But unfortunately, sometimes it's a little bit of a ping-pong match. I think the players did quite well in most occasions in the counter moves and just the counter strategies with what England had to bring.
Huge local derbies in the URC tomorrow at Ellis Park. Lions host the Bulls at 2:30, followed by the Sharks against the Stormers. Last week, the Stormers suffered their first defeat. Assistant coach Rita Hlongwani says they only have themselves to blame.
Obviously, the Sharks had prepared really well, but 2 skewed throws close to the try line has nothing to do with the opponent. Overthrow has nothing to do with the opponent. The poor lift has nothing to do with the opponent. So it's definitely the things on our side of the court which we want to improve.
And Ireland won't have Bundy Aki for the first 3 games of the Six Nations. He's suspended for 4 games for verbally abusing the ref in last week's URC match. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
It's 6:45 on the nose. Let's catch up with the roads. Amma, what are you seeing?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the Mike 1 North. An accident reported right near the Crown Interchange. Delays coming out of Boyson's Road. Please be on the lookout there and continue driving with care while traveling in Germiston. Peak time delays already between the Airlines Interchange and the Kirudis turned off. That's on the N3 North. And then if you're heading towards the city of Tshwane, please try to avoid the R21 North at this particular time. We've got roadworks that are taking place and they are causing delays towards Olifantsfontein Road. Rather use the N1 North through through Midrand instead. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Watchdog, why is there a horse in your driveway?
You ride savvy. Why drive a Mustang when you can ride one?
What the missus say?
Well, she had a bit of a long face, but now she's stable.
If you need a backup plan, We Buy Cars can sort you out.
Nah, savvy. This thing is eco-chic.
Stop horsing around, cowboy. Rather get one of these from We Buy Cars.
What's the horsepower on that thing?
More than one, Dorf. More than one.
Don't be Dorf, be savvy. We Buy Cars, geared for adventure, geared for you.
Remember where you were when Shaba scored in 2010. Now imagine that magic again, alongside global royalty like, Didier Drogba, Del Piero, so many other legends. Back for one unforgettable showdown. Goals, glory, and goosebumps all over again. That's happening on Prime Media Plus. Download the app or visit primemediaplus.com. Brought to you by Prime Media Sport.
Naked people always get dessert. Because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums, they've got more money for Mulva pudding, or cheesecake, or both. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And because it's all online, it also costs less. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start treating yourself like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Is your skin itchy, flaky, red, or discolored? You may have a fungal skin infection. Turbane treats a variety of fungal skin infections, like skin thrush, a red and itchy rash with small pimples, usually in damp skin areas, ringworm, a ring-shaped, sometimes itchy rash, athlete's foot, itchy, red, discolored, or peeling skin on your feet or toes, and jock itch. Turbane kills skin fungus, and you only need to use the cream once or twice daily for 1 week compared to other 4-week treatments. Ask your pharmacist about Turbane cream and say goodbye to fungal skin infections.
Every home begins with an idea to build smarter, stronger, and to last generations. That idea comes to life at the Summit on Innovative Building Technologies. Catch the Clement Manyatela Show live from the Nasrec Expo Center next Tuesday for all the highlights and updates from the summit, where tomorrow's built environment takes shape. Find out how smart building materials and advanced construction methods are shaping sustainable and resilient communities across SA. That's the Clement Manyatela Show, live from the Summit on Innovative Building Technologies on Tuesday, 3 February, brought to you by the Department of Human Settlements on 702.
Coming up in the next hour, What's the Question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand up for grabs. 1,000 for the answer and 2,000 Rand for the question. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, my name is Baptista Bennigsen. I'm 12 years old. I got in my Harsha, and I want to be a physiotherapist when I'm older, and I can't wait to interview with Bongani. Thank you.
We can't wait to play with you too.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
There's a new way to experience all your favorites. Pulse Africa, the 24/7 fast channel, now live on primemediaplus.com and the Prime Media Plus app, bringing you the best of Prime Media around the clock. Watch the biggest moments from 702. It's non-stop entertainment and authentic African storytelling, all from Africa's leading media network. Pulse Africa, only on the primemediaplus.com and Prime Media Plus app.
This weekend, 31 January, BYD invites you to drive the dream, because progress should be drivable. From your first car to growing your family, or just wanting to explore the open roads, there's a BYD designed for your journey. Join BYD dealerships nationwide and stand a chance to win one of 10 BYD Dream Experiences to the value of 20,000 Rand. BYD is powering your journey 1 kilowatt at a time. Book your test drive at the nearest BYD dealership. BYD, build your dreams. T's and C's apply.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS LEGAL to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Let's give away some cash, shall we? Up next, the political desk with Professor Amanda Groos. Today we're playing with 12-year-old Bathsheba, who wants to be a physiotherapist a little later on in life. Bathsheba, a lot of your friends from school are listening to us, hey?
Yes.
Who do you want to say hello to?
Sophie and Anna L.
Okay,
And
I hope they're listening and they're crossing your fingers for you. Good luck, hey?
Thank you.
KG, start the clock. Spell the word cartoon.
CARTOON.
Correct. What is 20 divided by 5?
4.
Correct. The acronym FOMO stands for what of missing out?
Missing out.
Correct. True or false? You see lightning before you hear thunder.
False.
It's true. In sport, the abbreviation PSL stands for Premier what League?
A sports league.
Soccer. Which country lies on the Atlantic Ocean, Tanzania or Angola?
Tanzania.
It's Angola. How many C's are there in the word complicated?
3.
2. True or false? Japan's currency is called the yen.
True.
Correct. Of which color is amber a shade? Blue or orange?
Blue.
It's orange. Which tropic is south of the equator? Cancer or Capricorn?
Capricorn.
Capricorn indeed is the correct answer. And those are our 10 questions. Bathsheba, you walk away with 500 Rand. 5 correct answers, 500 Rand. We've got 10,000 Rand for kids aged 10 to 13. You get all 10 of my questions correct in 60 seconds.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702.
702.
The political desk.
Today, our special guest is Professor Amanda Groos, political analyst and a professor of political science. A very good morning to you and welcome to our show. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning and good morning to the listeners.
This is a segment of the show, of course, where we look back at the political week that was. I suppose the big news story, certainly from yesterday, is the president essentially instituting a special investigation, directing the acting police minister, Firoz Kashalia, and the National Police Commissioner, General Fanny Masemola, to look into at least 9 officers heavily implicated in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. That no doubt would have come from the interim report.
Yes, indeed. And I think the speed with which this is happening is encouraging because we know that we've had investigations before and then the recommendations are not implemented.
Prof, I want to remind you of a moment where at some point, one of the commissioners, Advocate Sesi Baloyi, took the KwaZulu-Natal Hawks boss, Liseja Senona, really to task in the sense that this was a man who, even though he was the head of the Hawks in KZN, was trying to let the commission believe he had no idea that his friend and brother, to use his own word, Vusumuzi Kat Matlala, had been heavily implicated in the Tembisa hospital matter. Have a listen.
I would like to understand what it is you say you had, whether on radio, whether on TV, but when you heard about this name and that she's been killed, what else about it did you hear?
A whistleblower commissioner has been killed for exposing corruption.
And that story would have said what corruption and where, right?
I do not have a recollection of that.
You must, General. I'm going to press you on this. You must. I think you're being selective in what you want to say you remember, which is it was just that she was killed. There was always a complete story about this, explaining what it's alleged she had done, blew the whistle on, and who was implicated in that. And it's difficult to accept that you heard about this killing, but you didn't hear what it is that she's supposed to have blown the whistle on, and who are the people that are implicated. It's difficult to accept that you didn't hear that information.
He said, of course, he'd heard about the name Babita Deokaran on the radio, he says, but he didn't know much more than that. I mean, this is the kind of thing we've seen at these commissions of inquiry. Does it suggest to you, Prof, that a lot of these people really believed they could get away with it?
No, it's absolute nonsense. And I mean, in Senono's case, there's WhatsApp evidence that there were a lot of contact between him and Kat Madlanga. And also there's some footage where he's handing over documents to Kat Madlanga. So this is just a way of saving their own skin, the people who are denying things. I mean, These criminal networks are very well connected, and police members are part of these networks. So now, they're in this difficult position to explain why they've had interaction with criminals. And Senono said, well, he's like my brother. I've known him for a long time. In my culture, if you're good friends with somebody, he becomes your brother. So I just had visits with my brother. But that's nonsense.
I mean, if you look at how all of this was set up and who some of these individuals are, Julius Mkhwanazi, he, of course, helping fit blue lights, it's alleged, for Madlanga's fleet of cars. The HR officials who also tried to hide all of this, the 3 cops accused of dumping a body in a mine dump, the former municipal manager who protected Julius Mkhwanazi. As you say, it's an intricate network, everybody buddies with everybody looking after each other, and it would appear they really were convinced nobody would find out.
Yeah, no, they thought they were above the law because they, in many respects, are the law, right? They are the enforcers of the law. So what's the enforcers, right? So they thought they could get away with this. And I mean, if it was not for Mkhwanazi, we would have been any the wiser. And I mean, this is, I think, the thing that really upsets South African citizens is if you've listened to the daily investigation, it's jaw-dropping. You cannot believe what is going on in the criminal justice system. And you ask yourself, what are we going to do about this? Because once crime is so connected, even with the Minister of Police, how do you get rid of it? And that is evidence of why we make no headway with crime.
Prof, though, the question must also be asked, all right, we're investigating these 9. What about the suspended police minister? Why isn't he being investigated? Why has he not been fired?
Exactly. And I mean, this is also, we need to ask, why was the president not aware or had some inkling about this minister? So he has appointed a man who is, by all accounts, corrupt. And now he's not firing him. And I mean, this is the problem in the ANC, that I think, there's one scapegoat now, but maybe many more of them were connected in some way. And so you don't want the others to spill the beans. So the president is really in a very difficult position. But if he is really serious about dealing with corruption, he should have fired the Minister of Police.
I think that kind of pressure is going to continue to build up. Professor Amanda Gous, a political analyst and professor of political science.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Earlier in the week, we spoke to you about syndicates targeting suburbia, hijacking people's homes, and it would appear the law enables them to get away with it. One of the listeners sent us a voice note to say, actually, why don't you bring in a legal eagle to explain how it all works and how ordinary homeowners can be protected from that? Well, we're doing exactly that after this Eyewitness News brought to you by Momentum. Financial advisors help you have a better shot at generational wealth. Speak to a Momentum accredited financial advisor. Momentum is part of the Momentum Group Limited, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
This is EWN.
Aubrey Ledwaba shortlisted for the judge-president position, and Joburg coalition wants the city to have a deputy mayor. Good morning, I'm Bali Dlamini. Acting Gauteng Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba has been shortlisted for the Judge President position despite being implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. The Judicial Service Commission released the names of candidates who will be interviewed for positions in the country's superior courts. Ledwaba is the only candidate shortlisted for Judge President of the Gauteng Division of the High Court. The Madlanga Commission is investigating allegations of corruption, criminality and political interference within the criminal justice system. Khomotso Modise has more.
Acting Gauteng Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba is one of the names that were mentioned earlier on in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, with a police investigating officer referred to as Witness A alleging that he was paid 2.5 million rand to release alleged crime kingpin Katiso KT Molefe on bail. But Ledwaba has denied this, asking to be given an opportunity to make his side known before the commission. He's also resisted pleas and calls for him to step aside, instead continuing with his duties as acting judge president of the Gauteng division. Now he stands to be appointed permanently, with his shortlisting to be interviewed in April. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
The city of Johannesburg is set to spend at least 1.2 million rand per annum on paying a deputy mayor. This follows a council resolution to create an entirely new deputy mayor position. The ANC's proposal to establish that position was supported by the majority of parties in council yesterday. The DA and EFF rejected the proposal, while Action SA abstained from the process. Alfa Ramashwana reports.
The city of Johannesburg's soon-to-be elected deputy mayor will earn no less than 1.2 million rand per year. However, a council document confirms the deputy mayor position will replace the finance portfolio. This means the city will no longer have a finance MMC, with the portfolio instead falling under the responsibility of the deputy mayor. ANC Regional Secretary Sasabona Manganye says since the finance MMC position will be phased out, part of the money will go towards paying the new deputy mayor of Johannesburg.
The deputy, mayor will be one of the 10 MMCs. For an example, you can say finance, you are under the position of a deputy mayor, so you will no longer have an MMC of finance. I don't know what is the additional cost.
The ANC-led coalition will now have to decide who to appoint to the position. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
To this now, some economists believe the Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee is likely to stay cautious in its upcoming meetings amid persistent global risks. The MPC signalled its caution yesterday during its first announcement on policy rates for the year. 4 MPC members voted to hold the benchmark rate at 6.7%, with commercial banks holding the prime lending rate at the current 10.25%. Nogukanya Mdambo has more.
The MPC already lowered the repo rate from 8.25% at the start of 2024 to 6.75% by the end of last year. The Reserve Bank's quarterly projection model continues to forecast gradual rate cuts as inflation subsides. The central bank has a pair of scenarios: a favourable one where the rand is stronger and the oil price keeps falling, and a more challenging one where the rand weakens and oil continues to go up. Economist at Sanlam Investments, Patrick Buthelezi, says the thinking behind another rate cut is not clear-cut.
Overall, we expect the SARB to navigate this uncertain environment cautiously.
Economists at FNB believe the country is still set for a better 2026, even as the rate cut is delayed. Nogukanya Mdambo, Eyewitness News.
KwaZulu-Natal Education MEC Sipho Hlomuga has criticised ongoing protests at the Addington Primary School in Durban. For 3 weeks now, civic organisation March and March, alongside Operation Dudula and the MK Party, have picketed outside that school. They have been demanding placement for South African children at that school, while also calling for the deprioritisation of foreign learners. Nhlanhla Mabaso has more.
Ongoing demonstrations at the school have turned violent with clashes between local and foreign national parents outside the school premises. Provincial Education MEC Sipho Hlomuga visited the school after being accused of missing in action. In response to the criticism, Hlomuga says his delayed visit does not mean he was not paying attention to the matter. He says all 54 children who were unplaced have now been allocated classrooms.
It must be stated clear that learners, regardless of their background, cannot be targeted or victimized. As the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa is unambiguously, every child within our borders has a right to basic education. Violence has no place in our schools.
The MEC has also warned that any disruption at schools will be dealt with decisively. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
And Doctors Without Borders says sexual and gender-based violence has surged in Haiti in recent years. Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, with large parts of the country in the control of rival armed gangs who carry out murders, rapes and kidnappings. MSF says 57% of survivors who have received care at one of its clinics since 2022 reported being assaulted by members of armed groups and often by multiple perpetrators. The medical charity is now calling for more funding and for the unequivocal recognition of the widespread nature of sexual violence. Gold is trading at $5,331.10 an ounce. The rand is at 15.74 to the dollar, 21.73 to the pound, 18.85 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $68.40 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident reported on the N3 South. That's right near the Glulies interchange. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Linksfield Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South in the Midrand area towards New Road due to peak time delays.
And in your sport, Proteas beat the West Indies by 7 wickets to win the T20 series with 1 game to go. Man of the match, Quinton de Kock, smashing 115. Live men's semi-final on the go at the Australian Open, where Alcaraz leads Zverev 1-0. Alcaraz taking that first set 6-4. And in netball, the Spa Proteas beat England by 4 points in the first of 3 tests.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng today, with scattered afternoon showers expected. Lows of between 15 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 28. The top story in EWN this hour. And Acting Gauteng Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba has been shortlisted for the Judge President position despite being implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
They say the early bird catches the worm. Great advice, unless you're the worm. Generic so-called wisdom doesn't work for everyone, so I settle for a financial plan that's one size fits some. Momentum accredited financial advisors take the time to get to really know your unique situation. Advice meets your context. Momentum, your journey to success. Momentum is part of Momentum Group Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Calling all the brightest minds in Gauteng. Time to flex your general knowledge smarts in the brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes after 7 o'clock, this is certainly a story that's going to raise eyebrows. A judge facing allegations of receiving 2.5 million rand allegedly to grant bail to a murder accused. He has denied, of course, those allegations, seeking to present his side of the story at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And yet he's been shortlisted for becoming the Judge President of the Gauteng Division of the High Court.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
What's the worst day, Amo? What's the worst day to have a meeting?
On Friday.
On a Friday,
Yeah.
right? Especially those late afternoon meetings.
Mhm.
I want you to listen to this clip of the US President Donald Trump at the White House yesterday, joking about cabinet meetings and how they shouldn't be too long.
We are going to ask a couple of people to say a few words, and we're not going to go through the whole table because the last time we had a press conference, it lasted for 3 hours. And some people said he closed his eyes. Look, it got pretty boring. It was a little bit on the boring side, but I didn't sleep. I just closed them because I wanted to get the hell out of here. Some of them, I didn't sleep, by the way. I don't sleep much, let me tell you. But it's funny, some of them got me in a blink. When you go like, and they took me at the closed segment of my cycle. And they said he's sleeping. And besides that, Marco, between these two guys, if I was sleeping, they'd be waking me up very fast.
Yeah, ne? He says he was only blinking. The meeting got so boring, it took him to a blink. Don't you sometimes wish you could just blink your way through Friday meetings? What's the worst day to have meetings? Siam Tanda, my producer, suggesting, well, hang on, Mondays are not an exciting day to have meetings either. Throw them in the middle of the week, please, but not on a Monday or a Friday. Just before the news break, we played you a clip from the Hawks head in KZN, Lisetja Senona, who has been pressed at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. I played you that clip where Advocate Sesi Balori presses him on, what do you mean you don't know more about Babita Deokaran? That story was everywhere. It was on the national news. You would have seen it on television. You would have heard it on the radio. Why? What do you mean you do not know? And this was the Hawks head, no less. This is what his answer was.
No, when you read today, commissioners, this was read, when I read it, it is not Madlala alone that was implicated here. When I read these articles today, yeah, so I realize Madlala is part of this. There's other people and companies that are mentioned, but prior, I was not privy to know that which companies, but what was said on the radio, as if I remember very well, traveling to work, was a whistleblower who was murdered for exposing corruption at Tembisa Hospital. And then in the radio, I think they were talking about a lot of topics and other things, but this one came out because, commissioners, if I was to be selective, I don't have to be selective because I will admit to things that I heard about, but allow me not to admit to things that I didn't hear.
Okay.
And then allow me to give you the best recollection of my events as they were unfolding. But I want to plead that I must not be pressurized to give an answer that I don't know about.
Yeah, ne? Amo?
It sounds like he sat down and prepared himself. How am I going to answer this? Because
what's that explanation?
How am I going to give this explanation to a point where it sounds like it's reasonable? Like, for instance, I was blinking and the camera caught me while I was blinking.
Same WhatsApp group, right? Same WhatsApp group. Listen, the commissioner, Sesi Baloi, at some point really just had enough of this. And she said, enough. Enough now.
And when you say, I don't remember, I made assumptions, it cannot be. And I think in nearly similar vein to to Commissioner Khumalo here, I think I would like you to take this commission much more seriously and give us proper answers. You are not assisting the commission. You say, I took the oath, I said I was going to tell the truth, and I'm trying my best to assist. You must accept sitting there that when you say, I don't remember, it's of no assistance to the commission.
It's of no assistance to the commission. It's as simple as that.
7:02. Up next,
the big interview.
Today we'll get a press briefing from the outgoing National Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Shamila Batoy, her final media briefing. That's happening a little later today. The U.S. Department of Justice filing charges against a man who tried to spray a member of Congress, U.S. Representative Ilan Omar, with an unknown substance at a town hall meeting in Minneapolis on Tuesday. It comes, of course, on the back of Trump targeting Somalians, referring to them as garbage and expressing a desire to even send this Congresswoman back. There's a new killer virus on the radar. Are we ready? The lethal Nipah virus in India's West Bengal state has set off alarm bells across Asia, prompting tighter screening at airports and borders, and it's said to be a lot more lethal than COVID-19, and there's no vaccine, only supportive treatment to manage symptoms like high fever, convulsions, and vomiting. And on this day, 1999, Britney Spears' Baby One More Time was at the top of the Billboard Hot 100.
EWN
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 451442 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. There's a crash on the N3 South, Amo.
Yes, Bongani, this is as you head towards the Gilulis interchange. Is causing about a 15-minute hold-up coming out of Morafontein Road. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North. This is now heading towards Bedford View, coming out of the Elands interchange. And then, of course, peak time delays reported on the N1 South. This is just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance Pointsman can't help you make office small talk about your holidays, but they can ease traffic congestion so you can get to work on time. With the Pointsman on the roads for the past 20 years, we all get to where we need to quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
For over 30 years, Bid Air Cargo has been keeping South Africa's supply chain moving, giving our economy the dedicated cargo capacity it needs. Whether it's really, really urgent, oversized, or hazardous, when a shipment has to fly, we make it happen. Linking all major airports with reliable freighter services, our promise delivers. Bid Air Cargo. Every kilo counts.
Z, Focalistic, Daliwonga, Zoe Mudicha, Mafikizolo, Kurt Darren, Claire Johnston. I mean, so many stars are going to be part of the fashion and music at the 2026 Mahindra Fusion Fest. It's all going down on Saturday, the 7th of March at the Sunbet Arena for one night only. Not only can you win tickets to the Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026, but at the end of the night, you could also be driving off in a Mahindra 3XO of your very own. To enter, go to your nearest Mahindra dealership and test drive the Mahindra 3XO. Grab your tickets at Ticketmaster now and get ready for a cultural revolution. The Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026, Sunbet Arena, 7 March, powered by 702.
At Checkers, 2026 is better with over 1,500 deals. Like Kellogg's Instant Noodles 5-pack, any 2 for 58 Rand. Save 28 Rand. Parmalat Everfresh Long Life Milk, a 1 litre 6-pack for 94.99. Save 25 Rand. And Baby Soft White 2-ply Toilet Rolls 18-pack, 2 for 259 Rand. Save 81 Rand. Valid until Sunday at Checkers. Checkers Hyper or shop on 6060.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
19 after 7, on to this now. You may remember earlier in the week, we told you the story of one Tevin Mashila, who told us how his Bryanston property was hijacked. He's been paying, he's following the rules, doing what the law expects, but he still feels completely stuck. And if you missed that interview, here is a snippet of it. And one of our listeners said, why don't you get a legal eagle, a property law expert, to explain how it is that the law doesn't favor property owners, but rather criminal syndicates who are now targeting suburbia as the next asset class of property to hijack.
I tried to negotiate, obviously, with her, and tried to offer her some alternatives in terms of arrangements. The property has some bedrooms, which I said she can use while I'm busy doing the renovations on the property, and she never took that. Then I had to go to the attorneys to try and assist me with the eviction process because obviously that was what she was calling for. She said she was not going to leave the property unless if she's got an eviction order from the court. So I approached the attorneys. We did the first steps of eviction with the first attorney that approached. And coming to the second step, which was the first one step was a pre-eviction, where they wrote all the letters and so forth, which is in accordance to the law when it comes to eviction. And the cost was just way too much for me to continue to second steps. I think I was being charged about 180,000 rand just to go through that steps. And the 180K that was mentioned was not all-inclusive. There was obviously some add-ons that could have come depending on the time period that the case takes.
All right, we've invited Marlon Chevalier, who's a property law expert, to talk to us through some of Tevin Mashila's issues and the broader story around how syndicates are targeting suburban homeowners and essentially just taking over their properties. Marlon, a very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Thanks, Bongani. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I don't know how much you heard of this specific interview and this particular case, but broadly speaking, it seems that as a property owner, it's incredibly difficult to rid yourself of a troublesome tenant or even somebody occupying your home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's important to specify that it's probably more difficult when it's a residential property. Unlike commercial properties, which can also be hijacked and also have unlawful occupiers, when it comes to residential, we're dealing with Section 26 of the Constitution. We're dealing with the right to housing. And unlike commercial property, where there isn't really much legislation governing evictions, believe it or not, it's more the common law. In this particular instance, we've got the PI Act, which is the Prevention of Illegal Eviction from and Unlawful Occupation of Land Act. And it's very fact-specific as to what needs to be proved to get an unlawful occupier out of the property.
In Mashila's case, he bought a property on auction, and the previous owner, who obviously lost the property because they were unable to meet their obligations in terms of the home loan, simply refused to vacate the property, and then he was stuck with the problem. And one of the things that's emerged from a number of people who called us is that in fact the banks make it very clear that if you are to purchase a home on auction, it's not their job, it's not their problem to evict the previous owner, but indeed it becomes yours.
Quite right. Banks are not estate agents. Banks are informed by their, the powers that be to call in a loan. If a bond is not paid, they're debt collectors. They sell the property for as much as needed to cover the outstanding arrears. And they're not in the job of evicting, because once the property is sold in execution or privately, it's inconsequential. It becomes the job of the purchaser to actually deal with the eviction process. So banks won't help in that regard. And once the transfer takes place, it becomes the baby, so to speak, of the purchaser. And it's a risk, particularly in distressed sales, properties in execution, properties in possession, for the purchaser to be alive to what the risks are of buying their property in a distressed sale and what needs to be done thereafter.
But surely that implies that people are taking advantage of a law that was meant to protect victims here, and it doesn't appear that those who refuse to vacate properties they know they do not own and are not paying for are the victims.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why we've got the PI Act. The PI Act doesn't just apply to squatters, people who have moved in unlawfully. Of course it does. But if you had a lease agreement and your lease expires and you don't leave, you're an unlawful occupier. If you own a property and the bank forecloses and you don't leave, you're an unlawful occupier. So there's many ways to become an unlawful occupier. Obviously, it's very, again, fact-centric. It depends on if it's a lease agreement that terminated, you go through the PI Act, and it's a little bit easier, I would say, than, for example, buying a property in execution, because invariably you could buy the property in execution with a tenant or without a tenant, depending on whether the lease was signed before a bond was taken out by the purchaser, or at least by the seller, or afterwards. So it becomes a little bit hairy, so to speak, depending on the facts of the matter. But I can tell you that, unfortunately, the PI Act is open for a lot of exploitation. Truthfully, it's there to protect marginalized people, vulnerable people, children, elderly people. But invariably, you will find many opportunists who move into a property knowing full well that they can rely on the idiosyncrasies of the legal system to delay their possible eviction and cost the purchaser a lot of money.
Marlon, I mean, we've had cases where people have suggested they battled for years to evict people who are occupying their homes illegally. And now we're also hearing reports of syndicates operating, particularly in suburbia, targeting luxury homes and converting them to all sorts of accommodations to be able to lease them out illegally.
Absolutely, they do that. But again, it's the same law that applies. We can't have different laws for different types of occupation. So whereas we might feel it's completely unjust for a syndicate to purposefully take over a property, convert it into a sublease situation, earn money without paying, the actual owner of the property. But in the same breath, it might very well be a person who moved in there, has lost their job, has nowhere else to go, will be rendered homeless. It's the same legislation, and that's why it's up for abuse. Like any legislation can be up for abuse. People are able to find the cracks. And the big thing, and in Joburg is probably just as bad, but in the Western Cape, I can tell you right now that if you have to launch an eviction application in the Western Cape High Court, and that occupant decides to oppose it, simply says, Bongani, I'm opposing the application, it will be January 2027 when the matter may actually be heard. So effectively, a year can be bought, even by an opportunist, to give themselves a year of unlawful occupation at the cost to the landlord, who of course still needs to pay his bond potentially, who unfortunately might be liable for municipal rates. So again, you can't distinguish, because you have to look at who the occupant it is and what the law is. But just because we have a syndicate doesn't mean that we can change the law to accommodate them. It's the same law for everybody, although it was certainly not designed for the syndicates and the criminals in place.
Marlon, it makes the law an ass, as they say.
I've got a worse euphemism for that, but it is.
As in donkey, to be clear.
Of course, absolutely. I wasn't thinking anything else. But the problem is, though, is that we're dealing with the delays in court. We're dealing with the municipality's obligation to find alternative accommodation. And again, when I was on your sister company, Cape Talk, I think 2 weeks ago, dealing with this Bryanston home that had been hijacked, an 8.9 million rand home. In that instance, the occupant was basically saying, listen, I've got my rights and I'll fight it in court. And that's the problem. Everyone has their right to a defense. And it would be complete civil war if anyone could just take the law into their hands. In fact, Bongani, if you have to try and take the law into your hands and to remove a criminal syndicate from your property, they can approach court on an urgent basis and force you to put them back into the property until you've got a court order. So it just amplifies the absurdity that unfortunately manifests
what do property owners do?
Situations like this.
Sorry, Marlon, what do property owners do then?
No, what do they do?
Don't own a property?
They follow the legal process. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say don't own a property. I would simply lean more towards commercial property, because commercial evictions, by their very nature, can be brought on an urgent basis. It's because of the, again, idiosyncrasies and anomalies of the PI Act, which was designed to protect homeowners and to protect tenants. There's a dual duty on the PI Act. The problem is you've got an element that has taken advantage of it. So I still believe the PI Act is fantastic. It gives structured ways of evicting people. The problem is we don't have a specialized eviction court. We don't have a capacity-based municipality to provide alternative accommodation. We've got the socio-economic issues. We've got huge urban demand. And ultimately, this all results in a delay. It doesn't mean we haven't got good legislation, just the implementation of that legislation is delayed. And justice delayed, effectively, is justice denied.
I'm trying to find the good aspects of the PI Act as you've just described it, Marlon, but I think it's a needle in a haystack. Appreciate your time. Marlon Chevalier is a property law expert. Good luck to anybody who wants to lease out residential property.
EWN Business.
All right, here we go. Muteo Kharipe SARS partnering with Moody's Analytics to sharpen its tax collection tools. What does this mean?
Good morning again, Bongani. Moody's Analytics UK has won a contract with the South African Revenue Service to provide the revenue collector with transfer pricing benchmark tools. According to Business Day, the subsidiary of the ratings agency will now supply SARS with a solution capable of providing credible, comparable data and producing studies that can be contested in court during litigation and auditing. The South African Revenue Service identifies an estimated 800 billion rand in potential tax revenue that goes uncollected annually due to tax dodging, comprising tax evasion, avoidance, and outstanding debt. So this is to help them with that type of collection.
Woolworths expecting a 7 to 12% jump in earnings for the first half of the year.
Yeah, Woolworths shares lost 6% on the JSE yesterday after the firm told shareholders it expected adjusted earnings to fall by 2%. Despite that, though, the retailer expects a 7 to 12% jump in profits for the first half of the year. The group secured a 6.8% sales growth despite a tough economic period. Woolies Dash online sales grew 23%, while fashion and beauty also came in with growth of 6.2%.
Your indicators?
The rand at 15 rand 81 against the US dollar, 18 rand 87 against the euro, and 21 rand 76 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $5,209 an ounce, while platinum is down 4.5% at $2,515. Brent crude at $68.36 a barrel. More business after 8.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Straight to the news desk we go. We'll start in the capital. Mbali Dlamini.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Political parties in Tshwane have welcomed a move by the municipality to blacklist controversial businessman Edwin Sodi and his affiliated companies. The Metro announced yesterday it made an application to National Treasury for the blacklisting of all companies and directors responsible for the 250 million rand tender to upgrade the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant. In 2019, the municipality awarded the contract to a consortium led by Sodi, which abandoned the site 3 years later with most of the work incomplete. Action SA National Chairperson Michael Beaumont says the application shows the municipality is serious about holding poor-performing service providers accountable.
The people of Hammanskraal deserve justice for the suffering and costs they have endured as a result of the maladministration and corruption of Sodi's companies. Under Mayor Nasipi Moya's administration, water is finally being rolled out to a people who have been made collateral damage in the shady dealings of the politically connected.
DA caucus leader Celia Brink says this move was long overdue.
And we can applaud for that. I have this to say for the Executive Mayor Speaker. She certainly responds to pressure, and we will continue to pressure her in the interest of good governance.
A manhunt is underway for a suspect who fled the scene of a shootout with police, which left 4 suspects dead in KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. The suspects were shot and killed in the Adams Mission south of Durban. According to police, the group was wanted in connection with a number of crimes committed in that area. Police spokesperson Robert Nechiwunda.
We identified them on this Michelin Road. Police used sirens, they also used one. And during that operation, there was a confrontation and a shootout ensued. 4 suspects were shot and fatally wounded. One of them managed to escape, so a search for him is underway.
He says police will run ballistics tests on the 2 firearms recovered from the scene.
Yeah, you do not have a gun for fun. You have a gun because of an intention to shoot. We are still linking them with other cases, and now that we've got firearms, they'll be taken for ballistic to see if this gun can be linked to any cases of murder or any other cases that they've committed.
To this now, the Centurion Home Affairs Department will be closed for business today until Monday as the office relocates to a new building. Provision has been made only for the application of smart IDs, which will be done in mobile units at the site. Jabuli Limbata has more.
The Department of Home Affairs says other services will be available at nearby offices in Tshwane during the office closure. Minister Leon Schreiber says this transition is happening because the department wants to move away from an outdated and unsuitable facility to one that is modern and well equipped. This also forms part of the entity's reform plan to ensure there are no long operational challenges and that the dignity of applicants is restored. Another issue with the previous site were the criminal activities in the area. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
And US President Donald Trump has warned that it's very dangerous for Britain to deal with China. He made the remarks while attending the premiere of a documentary about his wife, Melania Trump. His comments come as UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer visits Beijing for talks. Starmer's visit to China is the first by a British Prime Minister since 2018. Yesterday, Starmer met with Chinese leader Xi Jinping and signed several cooperation agreements. A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng today with scattered afternoon thundershowers expected. Lows of between 15 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 South between Linksfield Road and the Glulies interchange. An earlier accident causing these delays. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North between Boysons Road and Empire Road. Empire Road in itself backed up towards the Mike 1 turn-off.
The top story in EWN. Political parties in Tshwane have welcomed a move by the municipality to blacklist controversial businessman Edwin Sodi and his affiliated companies.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
I think as South Africans, we have a high tolerance for nonsense. We have a high tolerance for abuse. And I don't know how we could change that. Because we're good with complaining. We're going to be outraged. All of us. Outraged about how our taxes are being abused and how corrupt these senior officers are. But what do we do about it? How can it be? How can it be that many of us, none of you have called in and said, hey, I'm a happy taxpayer, Clement? None. How can it be that so many of us can be unhappy taxpayers in this country and we do nothing about it? How can it be that we are so unhappy as taxpayers? We do nothing about it. Let's think about that.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Auto General covers the world's best drivers, whether that's the driver on the road or the driver that sends a golf ball flying. But the question is, can you tell the difference? Well, with the first ever Live Golf tournament in South Africa, we're turning up the excitement. Auto General, the official regional insurance partner of Live Golf South Africa, in collaboration with 702, is putting your ultimate driver knowledge to the test. Are you ready? Auto General are giving you a chance to win your share of 100,000 Rand. WhatsApp 072 702 1702 with the keyword Auto General and just follow the prompts. Enter and you could get a call to play the Driver Challenge. 3 quick rounds where we give you 2 everyday terms and you guess which belongs to cars and which belongs to golf. You can earn 1,000 Rand per correct answer, and if you've opted in for an Auto General car or business car insurance quote, your winnings will be doubled. The world's best drivers with Auto General. Never not there. On 702. Auto General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Are your nails discolored, brittle, crumbly, or appear ragged? Are they thickened or starting to lift off the nail bed? You may have a fungal nail infection, which can lead to discomfort, limit your activities, and have a negative impact on your social life because of the embarrassment. New Turbane Nail treats fungal nail infections by directly killing the fungus. It requires no filing before application and dries in about 30 seconds once applied. Ask your pharmacist about New Turbane Nail and say goodbye to fungal nail infections.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
What is a signature sound that comes either from the place you live in now or a place where you lived in once in your life? We've got off to a very good start and the bar's been set high with the Poli Polis.
Wow, Ntate John, you are rhyming. Poli Poli, get your own trolley. Yeah?
We had neighbors on the right who were Pirates supporters and neighbors on the left who were Chiefs supporters.
Yes.
So even if you didn't watch the game, you knew exactly who was winning based on where the vuvuzela came from.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
702 Afternoon Drive with John Perlman is proudly brought to you by Telkom Business. Possible begins here.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani and 702, I'm going to unfortunately say very pathetic laws that only benefit the law fraternity and criminals. That's just how the laws of the country work. As for the victim, sorry. You just continue losing money to the criminals and to lawyers. Why doesn't the law protect the victims? The law is always against the victims, even in the worst case scenarios like deaths, murders. The law needs to get tougher. Otherwise, these kind of things are just gonna continue. Property hijacking. I mean, people are killed and life goes on. So if the law doesn't change, nothing else is going to change. That's just it.
Morning, Bongani and team. Bongs, listening to these issues around the PI Act, I think we need an amendment that will ensure that such issues are then heard by the Housing Tribunal, specialized court. So I think that's an urgent amendment to this act that we need, just to ensure that these issues, they don't go to the High Court, but they will definitely be heard by this tribunal on an urgent basis, because no ordinary man can easily afford the cost of the High Court. Thank you.
Morning, Bongani. I had a client when I was still working. People refused to move out of 3 properties. He bought those properties as an investment when he retires, and they refused to move out. So somebody advised him to go to JP Hostel and get people to stay with those people who are refusing to vacate the property. And after 6 months, he came back. He said, you know what, that plan worked for him. The guys are out because he had people from JP Hostel staying in those houses with the occupants. So they had to leave. You know how they are. Thank you. It's Veronica from Springview.
Yeah, except it doesn't work for everyone, hey? And it doesn't work in every instance. If anything, it could get you into even more trouble, particularly if you are the target of syndicates who know exactly what they're doing and which rules to bend and how to bend them. And so if you get in a bunch of heavies and you think you're going to be a nuisance to the tenant who refuses to move, they, in fact, could sue you and you end up in a lot more trouble with a lot more difficulty in getting rid of them. So don't break the law to force someone else to obey the law. That doesn't always work out so smartly. I can tell you that for free. But if you're a property owner, what's your experience? And does all of this make you think twice about buying rental properties, residential properties for rental? Let us know.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. A chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. We've got Susan in Northcliffe. Susan, please give us today's answer. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Bongani. The answer is Nipah virus today.
Nipah virus. Gosh, Nipah virus. And tell me, Susan, have you received a quote from Outsurance?
I am already a member of Outsurance.
Your biscuits. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Susan in Northcliffe telling us the answer is Nipah virus. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, I mean, just how absolutely fantastic is Quinton de Kock?
Yep.
And even though he's doing so well, isn't there a tinge of regret that he was even out of the game for a few years?
No, because I think he himself will even tell you he needed that out of the game. We must remember Quinton de Kock was
was raised to play cricket. His dad from school days pushed him into cricket. He played cricket, so eventually you reach a point, I'm sure, where you just need a sabbatical.
He was all cricketed out.
Totally. And he's done phenomenally well. I remember him coming out of retirement and all of us going, do we need him for the World T20? Don't we have enough of our own greats, right? And look at last night. He showed us why we need him. He hit 115, the second T20 century of his career. The Proteas beat the West Indies by 7 wickets, chasing 222. De Kock and Rickleton put on a partnership of 162. Rickleton was unbeaten on 77. De Kock's century included 10 sixes and 6 fours. But before the match, believe it or not, left his bat at home.
Felt a bit stupid when I noticed earlier. Got so many bags, so over the last series I'm going through all bits and bobs and just went blank. Honestly, I don't know how I forgot. Went a bit white when I realised I had to make 1 or 2 phone calls half an hour before the bus was leaving. But there'll be a
Right? I love the behind the scenes stuff that we don't, know about and comes out later. Anyway, Australian Open men's semi-finals on the go. Alcaraz is battling Zverev. Alcaraz leads 1-0. He took the first set 6-4. They're currently tied at 6-all in the second set with Alcaraz 6-5 up in that tiebreaker. The winner will play either Sinner or Djokovic. Tomorrow's the women's final, Sabalenka against Rybakina. In netball, Spa Proteas pulled off a phenomenal 52-48 win over England in the first of 3 tests at Ellis Park Arena last night. Coach Jenny van Dijk.
Very proud of the way they finished the game. I'm proud of the way they just kept their composure throughout the game.
And in breaking news, Cindy Paluta, Alcaraz has just taken that second set.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. 2 big derbies in the URC tomorrow. Lions are hosting the Bulls at 2:30, followed by the Sharks Stormers. Last week, the Sharks handed the Stormers their first URC defeat of the season. Stormers assistant coach Rita Hlongwane says they have to get off to a good start tomorrow.
Yeah, it's something we spoke about. It's something we thought we really need to improve. This wasn't the first game that happened. So ideally, we definitely want to start on the front foot. It doesn't always work out the way you planned, but extremely important that we start by exerting pressure. But if it doesn't work out like it happened this weekend, we will have a contingency plan.
Six Nations Island without Bandi Aki for 3 games. He suspended for verbally abusing the ref. Mamelodi Sundowns in CAF Champions League action tonight. They've travelled to take on Al Hilal. The last match finished 2-all. While in the Betway Premiership, there's 1 game tonight. Richards Bay are hosting Golden Arrows. 5 games in the Premier League tomorrow, including leaders Arsenal away at Leeds. Chelsea are hosting West Ham. Liverpool take on Newcastle. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Catch up with the roads. It's now 13 minutes before 8 o'clock. Amma, what are you seeing?
Well, Bongani roadworks along the R21 North heading towards the city of Tshwane. They're causing about a 20-minute hold-up approaching Olifantsfontein Road. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care. Or if you want to avoid these roadworks, please use the N1 North through Midrand. Speaking of Midrand, delays on Olifantsfontein Road. This is between the R55 and the N1. While in Lone Hill, we've got an accident reported on Witkappen Road. It is right after Main Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes there. Please be on the lookout and try to avoid. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
If you're still thinking about one more trip before the calendar fills up, this is your sign. Fly Lift from Johannesburg to Durban from just 595 Rand. Complimentary snacks, drinks, and the kind of flexibility that makes travel feel easy. So whether that's a quick reset, a weekend away, or a last summer escape, catch a lift. Book now at lift.co.za. That's from 595 Rand, eh? T's and C's apply.
Let's hear from Dr. Armand, owner of Monument Dental, why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance.
It was one call and I was covered immediately. We are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
For dentistries, general medical practices, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Do you suffer from migraines? Have you been previously diagnosed by a doctor and treated for migraine? Ask your pharmacist about previously prescribed migraine treatments that are now available without prescription. Brought to you by Sandoz.
At Dis-Chem, get ready to start the year strong with bigger savings and better rewards. Swipe your Better Rewards card to save a massive 160 65 Rand on Pampers Premium Care Nappies. Now just 424 Rand 79. And get a massive 30% off Johnson's Baby Wipes. Look out for the Better Rewards icon to get an extra 10% off on Better Rewards brands. Offers valid from Tuesday 13 January to Sunday 15 February. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what's the question. If the answer is Nipah virus, let's go to Mohammed in Pretoria. Mohammed, what's the question?
Hi, Bongani. The question is which virus, which is not vaccine preventable, is causing an outbreak in India's West Bengal region?
I mean, it's quite a concern if you really think about it and the things they fear about its possible spread. Mohammed in Pretoria, 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance in 702.
Thank you.
Well played, well done there. I want you to listen to NBC News, the American News Network. Their reporter, Kate Snow, explaining exactly how Nipah virus is spreading in India and why it's such a concern.
This is a highly contagious virus between humans, and it's often deadly. The 2 cases of Nipah virus were detected in India in the state of West Bengal, but there are concerns the outbreak could spread. The virus has a fatality rate of 40 to 75%, according to the World Health Organization. So it's deadlier than the COVID virus, and there's no vaccine for Nipah. So authorities in India are taking no chances. At the same time, several airports across Asia, in Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, they're taking steps to screen passengers for any symptoms. Nipah is a zoonotic virus that's transmitted from animals, usually fruit bats. It doesn't spread easily to humans, and it can also come from contaminated food. But when it does, it initially hits like the flu, then worsens, and experts say pneumonia and other respiratory symptoms can develop. But the most serious complication is encephalitis, or inflammation of the brain.
Yeah, hey? Remember how I'm not to be alarmist and not to be silly, but remember how when we first heard of COVID-19, it seemed so far away, right? And let's hope that's how it stays with this Nipah virus.
63-year-old Almero knows all about saving with Outsurance.
We do save 417 Rand. That's about 5,000 Rand a year.
That's an awesome saving on Almero's 2021 Ford Ranger.
And there's an out bonus that you get if you don't claim for 3 years. I am really looking forward to it.
How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Different sounds, different worlds.
Different artistic expressions, music, art, and fashion collide. Are you coming? Let's go to the place where the beat drops, the fashion pops, and the art rocks.
We're talking Focalistic, Daliwonga, Mafigi Zolo, Kurt Darren, Matera Doughboy, Zoe Mujija, Claire Johnston from Mango Groove, the Tswani Gospel Choir, and more. Mahindra Fusion Fest, Saturday 7th March, Sunbet Arena. Tickets on Ticketmaster now. See you there.
Naked people are popular at Bry's because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums. They have more money for T-bone steaks. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Pearl.
Oh, I have such issues with your video with this lady who blocked a friend, but I'll let you tell the story and I'll tell you why I object.
Okay, so your WhatsApp status, if you put a picture of your significant other, and it's an endearing picture and post of appreciation, and basically what this picture is the woman's husband, and he's holding a massive bouquet of pink and white flowers that roses that he's going to give to his wife. So she puts this on her WhatsApp status with a comment saying, "Ooh, I'm like a little girl. I love my flowers." And one of her friends sees this post and responds to it and says, "Theo is my type, Whitesy." And this woman had a complete meltdown. She just did not appreciate that comment from her friends. Let's take a listen to her reaction.
You know, yes, I have been reflecting on this comment. I posted my husband holding my flowers. This is on my WhatsApp. And a user, by the way, she's married too. Theo is my type, wait. Can we talk about people who reveal themselves through comments, through indirect jokes? I did not take this very lightly. I blocked, delete, because wow, the audacity.
Now, I wonder how close her friend is to her, if it's her real bestie, her chummy, or if it's just somebody she kind of, when she sees them, they wave, "Hi, how are you?" whatever it may be. But overreaction much? You must see the comments.
Yes! Block
But you
me.
must see the comments.
Block
People
me. Block away,
agree.
sweetie.
So are you saying that you disagree with her, right?
Of course I do. So
Yes.
here's the thing. She posts the flowers the husband bought for her, right? And the friend comments on the basis of the action of her husband, not the man himself. I would understand if she'd taken this action if the status was about, I don't know, her husband in a Speedo or something like that. And that's the comment she received. But the friend was commenting on the action that, oh, that's my type, the kind of person who does that kind of thing, who would buy flowers. She wasn't talking about the individual himself. And for me, it just goes to show how silly and insecure she is. No.
Yeah,
if you're that kind of friend, block away. Block me, please, man.
But to block as well over that, surely you would just say, "Hey, I don't really appreciate that comment."
Well, what do you mean?
Or ha ha ha, what do you mean? Like have a laugh at it. So I wonder how close they are in terms of their friendships. But the comments, but listen to this one. I had a friend like this. I clocked it whenever we were hanging out with our partners. She always brought up my previous relationships. This girl always sang my man's praises. It got to a point, gave her the Irish goodbye and never looked back. It's been 3 years now. And most of the comments here, Bongles, where these people are agreeing with this woman, are women. They are like, this is my man. You do not comment on my man. Some of the men, I must say, laughed. They were like, haha, this is just like a joke. I mean, I have friends and we joke sometimes with each other, and we know where it's coming from. We trust each other and we're very close with each other. So I don't know. Is it a woman thing? Is it a man thing?
No. I think she was just silly and insecure. This has nothing to do with a comment on her husband. It's about what the husband did. So that comment was inspired by the man's action, not the man himself. And that's my view. What do you think? Do you think she overreacted? And what do you think is appropriate or inappropriate for your friend to say about your significant other? And what comment would you end that friendship over? That's what's gone viral with Kabazel.
702
Feedback
with Siamtanda Matiso.
Siamtanda Matiso, I mean, what are your thoughts? You saw the video. Do you think she has a point?
I'm I'm divided when it comes to this. When you're telling me that my man is your type, what response do you want me to give you? Like, what's the point of this message?
To know that I'm saying you are lucky, he's a great guy, he did this thing for you. I wish mine could do the same.
I don't know about that. And then there's the other thing is,
I wish mine could do the same.
Exactly. Like, don't say he's my type. Two, as women, we are sensitive. It also depends on our relationship and how close we are. And
KG, I'm going to lose this one.
You are. But also when it comes to other people's men, just don't comment to be safe, guys. Don't do that. We are all sensitive in our different ways when it comes to our men.
Okay.
Bongs, remember yesterday we heard from Feziwe, a loyal listener, had a great initiative for law students, first-year law students. Let's just take a reminder and remind those who didn't have a listen on what she had to promise law students.
Thank you so much for your offer. You are offering 5 2,000 Rand vouchers for books and stationery to help deserving matriculants who want to pursue a career in law.
That is correct, Bongani. In fact, I have increased the number from 5 students to 10 students.
No way. 10 students now.
10 students, each voucher is valued at 3,000 Rand.
Oh my goodness, Feziwe. That's awesome. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I've been receiving lots of emails.
Yes.
I will respond accordingly, but I just wanted to repeat my email address for those who are still interested and didn't get the opportunity to hear Feziwe.
So the offer is 10 vouchers for first-year law students worth 3,000 Rand each to buy books, to buy stationery, to just get you on your bike.
Absolutely.
And we've said anybody who wants to take that offer can email you.
Yes, Siamtanda is my name. And my email address is Siamtanda with the capital letter M for mother at primemedia.co.za.
No, Siamtanda M.
Yes, Siamtanda M for mother.
Not the M in the name Siamtanda.
Yeah, Bongani, you just complicated.
No, you're saying my name is Siamtanda with a capital M.
It's Siamtanda M at primemedia.co.za.
Thank you. Time now for the latest eyewitness news brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
This is EWN.
Recusal application by former presidents dismissed by Justice Khampepe and Aubrey Ledwaba shortlisted for the judge-president position. Good morning, I'm Bali Dlamini. We begin with news just in. The recusal application by former presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma for the chair of the TRC Cases Inquiry has been dismissed. Both Zuma and Mbeki wanted retired Justice Sisi Khampepe to recuse herself, citing bias on her part. The Commission is investigating alleged interference and concerted efforts to stop the prosecution of cases referred to the NPA by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The ruling means that both Mbeki and Zuma will now have to testify before Khampepe in the Commission of Inquiry. Acting Gauteng Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba has been shortlisted for the Judge President position despite being implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. The Judicial Service Commission released the names of candidates who will be interviewed for positions in the country's superior courts. Ledwaba is the only candidate shortlisted for Judge President of the Gauteng Division of the High Court. The Madlanga Commission is investigating allegations of corruption, criminality and political interference within the criminal justice system. Khomoto Modise has more.
Acting Gauteng Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba is one of the names that were mentioned earlier on in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, with a police investigating officer referred to as Witness A alleging that he was paid 2.5 million Rand to release alleged crime kingpin Katiso KT Molefe on bail. But Ledwaba has denied this, asking to be given an opportunity to make his side known before the commission. He's also resisted pleas and calls for him to step aside, instead continuing with his duties as acting judge president of the Gauteng division. Now he stands to be appointed permanently, with his shortlisting to be interviewed in April. Khomoto Modise, Eyewitness News.
Let's stay with the Madlanga Commission. KZN Hawks boss Lesija Sinona has concluded his testimony before that commission after testifying at length on the Hawks' Port Shepstone storage facility. The facility was broken into on several occasions. Despite this, during testimony yesterday, it emerged that the facility has no alarm system or CCTV cameras on site. Oren Singh reports.
In November 2021, 541 kilograms of cocaine worth 200 million Rand mysteriously vanished from the Hawks' offices in Port Shepstone on the KwaZulu-Natal south coast. At the time, the Hawks labelled the incident as a case of break-in and theft. But to date, no one has been arrested. Testifying at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday, KZN Hawks boss Lesecha Sinona said someone sold them out, but it wasn't him. Evidence leader Adila Hassim read out a document that highlighted the shortfalls in terms of security at the Port Shepstone facility.
1. No CCTV cameras are installed in and around the premises. 2. There's no early warning alarm systems in place within the office space, more especially in offices located on the ground floor. 3. No beam sensors located exterior to the office accommodation.
Aryan Singh, Eyewitness News.
Taxi Council Santaco has called for stronger law enforcement on the roads following a crash in KwaZulu-Natal that claimed the lives of 11 people. Yesterday, a minibus taxi collided with a truck in Ispingo in Durban. A further 8 people were injured and rushed to hospital. While investigations into the cause of the accident continue, Santaco is urging the public to stop speculating on that cause. Santaco's Fiso Shangase has extended his condolences to the families of the victims.
Drivers are encouraged to always adhere to the rules of the road. With the current rainy weather conditions, it is critical that drivers exercise extra caution to ensure the safety of passengers and other road users. As an organization, we discourage overloading. We also remind passengers that they have rights not to board an overloaded vehicle.
And Doctors Without Borders says sexual and gender-based violence has surged in Haiti in the recent years. Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, with large parts of the country in the control of rival armed gangs who carry out murders, rapes and kidnappings. MSF says 57% of survivors who have received care at one of its clinics since 2022 reported being assaulted by members of armed groups and often by multiple perpetrators. The medical charity is now calling for more funding and for the unequivocal recognition of the widespread nature of sexual violence. Gold is trading at $5,213.96 an ounce. The rand is at 15.85 to the dollar, 21.76 to the pound, 18.86 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $70.71 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Tembisa along the R21 North. This is due to roadworks that are taking place along this route. Please try to avoid. You can still use the N1 North through Midrand heading towards the city of Tshwane. And then if you're traveling in Sharonlee, we've got a major accident scene along Malibongo Drive right near the N1 causing delays.
And in your sport, Proteas beat the West Indies by 7 wickets to win the T20 series with 1 game to go. Man of the match, Quinton de Kock, smashing 115. Live men's semi-final on the go at the Australian Open, where Alcaraz leads Zverev 1-0. Alcaraz taking that first set 6-4. And in netball, the Spa Proteas beat England by 4 points in the first of 3 tests.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with scattered afternoon showers expected. Lows of between 15 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 28. The top story in EWN this hour, the recusal application by former Presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma for the chair of the TRC Cases Inquiry has been dismissed.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Tired of paying more than you need to for your car insurance? Jason, a 45-year-old OUTsurance client, is saving big on his 2025 Hyundai i10.
That's true. OUTsurance, they saved me an incredible 520 Rand.
And if you're claim-free for 3 years, you get an out bonus.
More and more and more out.
How much could OUTsurance save you on your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142.
Saving so much every month, around 640 Rand.
That's right. 27-year-old Liam saves an unbelievable 640 Rand a month on his 2020 Ford Ranger. Enjoy benefits like panic assistance, which sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. Get a quote now and see how much OUTsurance could save you. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online. Limit supply.
Your brain's a well-oiled machine. Now put it to work in the brain of 702. Enter on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Rai Rai, dinambuzo wam. Rai Rai, I have a question. Muteo Kharipe, you are probably the smartest person on our team. You know things we don't understand, and you're always explaining them to us. So put on your smart cap. If a candidate is the only name on the shortlist for a position, what might that mean?
In South Africa?
Anywhere in the world. Don't be cynical.
It's in the bag. No?
You've got it, right?
Yeah, it's in the bag.
It's yours, right? What does the Beyonce song say? I'm the one. I'm the only one. So, how is it that when the Judicial Service Commission released the names of candidates to be interviewed for the country's superior courts for the position of Judge President for the Gauteng division of the High Court, they only had one name? This is the same person, a judge heavily implicated in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. A witness testified and alleged that this individual received 2.5 million rand as a bribe to grant bail to the controversial Katiso Katie Molefe, a businessman accused of murder. The judge, of course, denies the allegations. But the witness at the Madlanga inquiry said this judge showed enormous bias and seemed uninterested in the prosecutor's submissions. But the only name on the shortlist, hey?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
A little earlier on, we told you about the U.S. Department of Justice, I beg your pardon. They filed charges against a man who tried to spray a member of Congress, U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar. They tried to spray her with an unknown substance during a town hall meeting in the city of Minneapolis on Tuesday. This is the same person, of course, who has been referred to very unflatteringly by U.S. President Donald Trump. She's of Somali origin, and Trump has often said Somalis are garbage and has expressed a desire to send her back. So, is there a connection? I want you to listen to an interview from CNN's program The Source, hosted by Caitlin Collins. This was on Wednesday. She spoke to Omar, did Caitlin Collins, and reminded her of something Omar herself had tweeted when Donald Trump was attacked, and asked her what the difference between the two of them might be.
This is a highly contagious virus between humans, and it's often deadly. The 2 cases of Nipah virus were detected in India in the...
I think I've indicated the wrong clip there. I got confused. I'm 50. That's my story and sticking to it. Amo always wants to add the 1.
You know, she always side-eyes me when you say you're 50.
I'm 50.
It's like, isn't it 50-something?
I'm 50 for the next 10 years.
1. Okay,
let's try again, KG.
I mentioned the president's response where he told ABC News just a few hours after this happened, she probably had herself sprayed, knowing her. Before you respond, I do want to remind everyone that when President Trump was nearly assassinated, you responded and said, we must condemn acts of violence and pray for the victims, make calmness and decency prevail. And you said it was sad to hear the tragedy that had occurred. What went through your mind when you heard the president's response last night?
Well, the difference between the president and I is that I was raised to be a decent human being, and my faith teaches me to have compassion.
Right? I was raised to be a decent human being, and my faith teaches me to have compassion. Donald Trump says about this attack, she probably sprayed herself, knowing her. This is the same woman, when he was attacked, called for decency, condemned violence, and Trump says, knowing her, she sprayed herself. This is something that happened live on TV. Yeah, ne? Every time you want to be ungrateful for President Ramaphosa, just think of what it would be like to live under Donald Trump, eh?
You're with Bongani Bingwa on 702.
Taking your calls on 011-883-0702.
All right, we're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. I've brought back up Amo and Samtanda were against me on this Kabazela story, Muteo. This woman posts on her WhatsApp status.
Always trying to get me in trouble.
A bouquet of flowers,
Yeah.
right? A friend of hers comments and says, Theo, implying her husband, is my type. She blocks her because she says that's an inappropriate comment to make about my husband. I would understand if she had posted, this is my argument, if she had posted her husband wearing, I don't know, a suit or a Speedo, then it's clear. But a bouquet of flowers, I think the friend...
the kind of man that buys flowers like
I
your
think that's
Theo
what
is my
that's
type.
the implication.
Yeah, you should have put it
that
like
I
that.
read.
I mean, who texts like that?
Because if you are friends, it means you have heard conversations about my husband. You've heard me talk about him. You know what I mean? And you've secretly, or you've liked
But
the
if you're
things that
also
he
friends,
does.
you know that your friend is well-meaning. They're not trying to
It's a
get
bouquet
after
of
you.
flowers. The compliment is on the action, not the individual.
Oh, congrats, friend. Done.
Muteo, is it a man or a
No.
woman thing?
Well, I wouldn't put it to that, but I think you are overreading the situation in that if you know your friend is a good person and they're not after your husband, surely they're not going to tell you
women
on
are
X all of a sudden.
sensitive beings. I know a former colleague who fired her helper because her helper said that the husband, she's lucky to have the husband because the husband helps in the house, cleans, does things to help her around the house. And therefore, the next day she was told to go because that means you are looking at my husband.
Please give me that helper's number. We can go to the CCMA.
Good morning, Bongani. I'm with you on this one. The lady who felt some type of way about a friend's comment. I've tried to listen to both arguments, but I'm married and I think my friends and I speak like that in a sense. We are open enough to say, sure, I wish, not just that you wish your husband was like that, but you recognize a good trait in your friend's husband without them feeling like you like the husband and you wish you were with the actual man. Anonymous from Joburg.
Good morning, Bongani. Chris Rock made a funny comment years ago on observations made by men. When they see favorable attributes in a lady, they'll say, wow, I have to get me someone like her. As opposed to women, when they make observations, they say, I have to get him. Greg from Kempton.
I agree with you, Bongan. No. This lady took it way too seriously. No. Her friend was actually saying that my type is the kind of boyfriend that you have, the kind that buys flowers or the kind that buys me chocolates, the kind that sends me gifts at work. That's what she was saying. That's my type. She was not saying that literally Theo is her type. She was not saying that I'm gonna steal Theo from you. How can we take things so seriously? Serious.
Morning, Bongani and the team. I agree with you 100%. I don't think the lady was talking about the man. She was just referring to the gesture, I like this kind of guy, but if this lady is going to be petty, block away. Because if the friends, surely she knows that my friend is really sensitive about these things. So I don't think she was talking about the husband. She was just saying, I'd also like a man who'd give me flowers. This is Lucy from Dobsonville.
Hi, I'm sorry. Block. Why? Because Galoko, from that comment, it's going to go to, let's meet up as a couples in Dondoni, and then suddenly it's going to escalate. No, it starts very small, innocent comments. Block and delete. You did well. I would do the very same thing. Protect your assets.
Protect your assets. Oh, I don't know. Khumutso, you're in Midrand. We asked earlier, are you a good person fundamentally, or is it that you obey the law because you know you wouldn't get away with it if you didn't?
Hi, Bongani. I would admit to be honestly a good person, good citizen. Integrity, yes. But me being a family man, your question really challenged me because this year has been so difficult. I thought to myself, what have I done? Suddenly my integrity was tested. my beloved dog just decided to jump out of the yard, and guess what it did? It just bit off a 14-year-old's leg. And in that situation, I could see myself that, you know what, this is a jail situation. And if you know, being a good citizen, it doesn't really exclude you from being vulnerable. I was so tormented. I didn't know what to do. And I could hear on the group people talking how I must go to that place. I don't want to sound like that guy from Madlanga Commission of the water guy, the water bottle guys. So what happened is that I had to find a way to get out of the situation without hitting the child who got bitten by my dog. And I know my dog to be good, but I was tested, Bongani. I just had to do something.
And you did the right thing, right, Khomotso?
I did the right thing, but I had to vulamlobo. Something had to be done. It was said. It was said. It's still tormenting me today, but I did the right thing. At the end of the day, it felt like I adopted the child. I had to take him all sorts of hospitals just to show my humility and my regret, you know. But I cannot regret having a dog. I love the dog. But in that situation, trust me, my integrity was tested.
All right, Khomotso in Midrand. Darlene, you're in Four Ways. You want to talk about the inappropriate comment about one's partner. Your views?
Yes, Bongani, blockety, block. My mom's best friend ended up being my father's wife.
Say that again, Darlene. The line cut off. Your mom's best friend ended up being what?
My father's wife.
Ooh!
See,
Darling.
it's right to block, Bongani. Caution. Be very, very careful. We mustn't take these things lightly.
Do you call her
There's
mum?
something behind that comment.
Darlene, do you call her mum?
Ultimately, yes. That's where we ended up, Bongani.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And do your mum and her, they're no longer friends, I'm suspecting?
No, so my mom passed away, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Darlene. Right, Darlene says it's not a joke. It's not always that innocent. Leslie in Joburg?
Good morning, Bongani. How are you?
I'm good, Leslie. Go ahead.
Well, I'm well, Bongani. Look, it's quite funny, but what I should tell you is that it's not only the picture that the comment is actually based on. As your friend, it will be ridiculous for me to block you for that particular comment, but there is a lot of unspoken language right there. There is a lot that is not said. Come to think about it, she knows her friend. Why will she block her just for an innocent comment like that?
Yeah, but equally the friend knows her. So if that would lead to a blocking, maybe the friend wouldn't have said it. I'm not convinced, Leslie. Jerry from Amondi, you'll have the last word on this. Your thoughts?
My thought is, what is wrong if I'm saying to you as my friend that your husband is my type as well? In other words, you have attracted a man that I would have attracted as well.
Yeah, you got lucky, friend.
Of course. I mean,
I'm happy for you. You got lucky, friend. It's as simple as that.
Simple as that.
So now that my husband or my husband is buying me flowers, you realize that you also love flowers.
Hi, Muteo, we can't win this one, ne?
Don't even try.
Yeah, no. I know my place.
EWN Traffic.
All right, let's talk about traffic, Amo. Maybe that's something we can agree on, hey? What's happening on the R21?
Roadworks are causing delays in Tembisa, Bongani, just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. About a 15-minute hold-up there. If you're leaving Kempton Park at this particular moment towards the city of Tshwane, it could take you about 40 minutes to arrive in the city of Tshwane due to those delays. While traveling on the M1 South, we've got some delays. This is between the Grayston Drive off-ramp and Collett Drive. Roadworks are causing these delays as well. And then peak time delays reported on the N3 North towards Van Buren Road. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Stop and think. Will you survive the AI revolution or thrive? Regenesis students are thriving. 11 cutting-edge schools, 111 countries, a world-class team of 1,111 with one mission, awakening your potential. You can choose from law, business, technology, AI, health, economics, entrepreneurship, public management, skills technology, and digital Regenesis. Undergraduate, postgraduate, upskilling, customized corporate programs. The question isn't, can you afford to enroll? It's, can you afford not to? Enroll now. Regenesis.net. Achieve your dreams.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll.
duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Different sounds, different worlds.
Different artistic expressions, music, art, and fashion collide. Are you coming? Let's go to the place where the beat drops, the fashion pops, and the art rocks.
We're talking Focalistic, Daliwonga, Mafigi Zolo, Kurt Darren, Matera Doughboy, Zoe Mudija, Claire Johnston from Mango Groove, the Tswani Gospel Choir, and more. Mahindra Fusion Fest, Saturday 7th March, Sunbet Arena. Tickets on Ticketmaster now. See you there.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, we started speaking about this, gosh, how many months ago, how many years ago? The slow grind of the war in Ukraine.
It's extraordinary, a new analysis on just some of the stats involved in this. And yeah, we're approaching 4 years of war. 4 years of war. So it's pushing towards First World War proportions in all sorts of ways, including, for instance, this new research tells us that Russian forces are advancing at a rate of round about 40 to 50 meters a day when they're advancing at all. In Moscow's offensive on Chaziv Yar in Ukraine, the average rate of advance there has been 15 meters a day. Even in the notoriously attritional Battle of the Somme, the First World War, French forces there advanced at 80 meters a day, albeit sometimes they also had to retreat at that sort of pace. The death toll overall is again of First World War proportions. So far, not that Russia or Ukraine kind of admit it, but 1.2 million Russian troops have been killed, wounded, or are missing. 1.2 million. And on the other side, it's 600,000 Ukrainians killed, wounded, or missing. Plus, 14,000 civilians have lost their lives in this, mainly Ukrainian lives. It is a slow, slogging pig of a war and no end in sight.
No more songs about drunken sailors, Adam.
No, what do you do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. No, forget that. The Royal Navy is ditching, at least taking the emphasis off the alcohol tot. They stopped the famous rum tot. All Royal Navy sailors used to get a rum ration every day. And at one stage it was a grog ration, which is rum mixed with water and lime juice and sugar. It was always seen as a sort of a thing for morale. But nowadays, and I've looked at this, navies around the world are all very different on this stuff. But nowadays, health targets are in. So they are now issuing an instruction that all personnel on British Royal Navy ships will have to do 2 dry days a week at least. It's that thing when you're in that world in any navy, and often perhaps you don't go to sea for months and months on end unless you're in a submarine, but it can still be weeks on end, and you're in that self-contained weird world. And one of my favorite films, I don't know if you've seen Master and Commander, with Russell Crowe as the captain of a ship in Napoleonic times. And as the captain of the ship, Russell Crowe says, "I would rather have them 3 sheets to the wind than have a mutiny on my hands." There is a thing about having your rightful tot of whatever on board a ship. We'll see how it goes down, literally.
I'm thinking, of course, of my favorite movie with Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. And that, of
Crimson
course,
Tide.
in a submarine.
Yeah.
Adam Gilchrist will have to do it there for this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Our final business update for the morning, 28 after 8. Mateo Jaripe. The Competition Commission giving the nod to that merger between RFG and Premier Foods.
Yeah, the Commission has recommended that the tribunal give the major food merger the go-ahead on condition that none of the workers are retrenched for at least 3 years. Premier owns several iconic food brands in South Africa, including Iwisa Maize Meal, Super C, Blue Ribbon Bread, amongst others. Premier expects the acquisition of RFG to yield north of 8 billion rand in revenue. RFG makes products like Bull Brand, Rhodes Products, and Heinz Spices. The tribunal still needs to put its stamp of approval on this particular deal.
Goodness me. Tell me about Woolies. Good news and bad.
Yeah, that rotisserie chicken and all the nice things that they make, paying off for them.
Now that they can sell it again.
Their food business is thriving with a 7% growth in sales there. Woolies Dash online sales grew 23%, while the fashion, beauty and home sales division was up 6.2%. So the retailer says it expects between 7 to 12% in terms of a jump in profits for the first half of the year. Despite all the good news, Woolworths shares lost 6% on the JSE yesterday after the firm also told shareholders it expected adjusted earnings to fall by at least 2%.
All right, your indicators?
The rand at 15 rand 84 against the US dollar, slightly weaker this morning against all major currencies, at 18 rand 89 against the euro, and at 21 rand 78 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $5,198 an ounce, and platinum down 4.5% now at $2,516. Brent crude at $68.56 a barrel. That is, of course, the business for the morning. Stephen Crotus with more analysis later this afternoon.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. And coming up next, we're going to be talking about the mighty Ellis Park. Can it once again revive sporting in the inner city of Johannesburg? In the meantime, Dlamini, beg your pardon, Dlamini, I'm getting confused because you've got a story about Fikile Mbalula. You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
That's okay. It's allowed. It's a
I know how to say Dlamini.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula has downplayed allegations of vote rigging at the party's recent Johannesburg regional conference. It follows the discovery of discarded ballot papers at a house in Pretoria. Yesterday, Mbalula said while there's some evidence that electoral processes had been flouted, he does not believe it's impacted the outcome of that province. The vote at the conference saw Joburg Mayor Dada Morero ousted as regional leader. Nevertheless, Mbalula says a case of fraud has been opened. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
In a hotly contested race, Loyiso Masuku beat Dada Morero to chair the ANC's Johannesburg region. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says those crying foul about the result must present evidence. He says the election was only called into question after the election of additional members.
Here you hear most every day that conference was bought, but you don't have evidence. Here people were having money in the conference, but you don't have evidence. And most time, people who raise these things are the ones who have lost.
Nevertheless, Mbalula says the police must investigate why ANC election material was found at a Pretoria house when standard procedure is that ballot boxes be kept sealed at a party office for at least 6 months.
After elections, there could be litigation. People can take you to court and demand that ballot boxes must be recounted and so on.
Mbalula believes the discovery of the discarded ballots was an isolated incident, but says a full investigation report will be shared with the party's provincial executive. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
A manhunt is underway for a suspect who escaped the scene of a shootout with police, which left 4 suspects dead in KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. The suspects were shot and killed in the Adams Mission area of the south of Durban. According to police, the group was wanted in connection with a number of crimes committed in that area. Police spokesperson Robert Nechiwunda.
We identified them on this Sheleni Road. Police used sirens, also used one. And during that operation, there was a confrontation and a shootout ensued. 4 suspects were shot and fatally wounded. One of them managed to escape, so a search for him is underway.
He says police will run ballistics tests on the 2 firearms that were recovered at the scene.
Yeah, you do not have a gun for fun. You have a gun because you have an intention to shoot. We are still linking them with other cases, and now that we've got firearms, they'll be taken for ballistic to see if this gun can be linked to any cases of murder or any other cases that they've committed.
11 members of the Western Cape Anti-Gang Unit are due in the Western Cape High Court today for bail appeal hearing. 10 of the accused were denied bail in December last year after appearing in the Athlone Magistrates Court for the alleged murder of Manenberg resident Wade Price. The officers are charged with murder, kidnapping, assault, torture and defeating the ends of justice after Price died while being interrogated in police custody. NPA spokesperson Eric Ndabazalila.
They were denied bail on the 23rd of December, but we know now that they are appealing, making a bail appeal. Our investigation is continuing. We've received a post-mortem report, but we still have a DNA report that's outstanding, as well as the crime scene reports that are still outstanding.
And further afield, the late king of Afrobeats, Fela Kuti, will be celebrated by the global music industry this weekend. The Nigerian star will posthumously receive a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys. It comes almost 3 decades after his death at the age of 58. Fela Kuti will be the first African to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys. Other musicians who will receive this award this year include Mexican-American guitarist Carlos Santana, Shaka Khan, the American singer known as the Queen of Funk, and Paul Simon. The 2026 Grammys, hosted by Trevor Noah, will broadcast live from Los Angeles on Sunday. A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng with scattered afternoon showers expected. Temperatures will peak at highs of between 25 and 28 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 South due to roadworks between Greyston Drive and Collett Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North towards the Baklu interchange coming out of Rivonia Road.
The top story in EWN, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula has downplayed allegations of vote rigging at the party's recent Johannesburg regional conference.
Life keeps getting busier. Parenting, shopping, working, exercising, just surviving. With all of that, who has time for anything else? That's why Netcare introduces Netcare Appointmed. Just tell us what you need, a specialist, GP or dentist, and we'll search our nationwide network of 5,000 doctors and find an appointment with a doctor who best suits your needs and medical aid. That's Netcare Appointmed on the Netcare app.
Water infrastructure vandalism has tragic and dangerous consequences. The theft of manhole covers can result in fatalities, especially among children. Each damaged pipe, illegal hookup, or vandalized pump jeopardizes access to clean water, disrupts service, and threatens public safety. Report suspicious activity to the City of Johannesburg at 0800 002 587. Help combat water infrastructure vandalism. Your alertness can prevent disasters. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water, a water utility that cares.
We at Monument Dental are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium when you switch? For dentistries, general medical practices, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
You keep your brain trained like a well-oiled machine.
Now it's time to put your brain in the game, because the brain of 702 is back.
With your chance to flex your general knowledge smart.
In which country is the famous statue Christ the Redeemer?
Enter now on PrimeMediaPlus.com.
Then catch 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
and 702 Drive with John Perlman.
There's 3,000 Rand up for grabs every day.
Brain of the Week wins 10,000 Rand and a spot in the finals to compete for the title of the Brain of 702
and an awesome 30,000 Rand cash on 702.
TCs and more on PrimeMediaPlus.com.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey Bongani, on the topic of what's gone viral with Kabazela, I am so with you on that one. I can so see myself passing a comment like that. At the same time, I do see the woman's perspective on this and their sensitivities in needing to protect their relationships.
Hi Bongani. Yeah, I think the comment from this lady is actually inappropriate because she's also married, right? So if you say, that's my type, are you thinking of divorcing your husband? and going and finding another one that now resembles the type that your friend has shown, or brings flowers. Are you saying that your husband is not bringing flowers and you are not happy, right? So I think she should have said probably, Chomi, we are lucky to have our husbands, because obviously she would have married that same type of husband. So what does she mean when she says that's my type?
Hi, morning Bongani and team. Mapari here from a report. The lady there was just insecure, unfortunately. She's not secure about people showing affection of a man. She's not secure about herself. I think that's the case. If it was a man, it would have been like, yeah, bruh, that's what she does. That's why I caught her. Yeah, but it would be like bragging and just being comfortable with someone showing affection for someone that I am currently with. So she's just insecure. Maybe she thinks the partner is cute enough to get her man.
The lady, there's no problem. Okay, there is a problem on the way she said it. Maybe the delivery of the comment. She could have said, Theo ke type, not my type.
I don't think it was that deep. All right, Cindy, you've just walked in. We're having a furious debate. I mean, we are 50-50, split down the middle.
I hope I'm not the Desmond Tutu of the whole thing.
So Kabazela is talking about a video which is posted on X.
Yeah.
So a woman posts on her WhatsApp status a bouquet of flowers that her husband bought for her.
Oh, beautiful.
One of her friends, who is also a married woman, comments that, oh, Theo is my type. Theo being the husband who bought the flowers.
Yeah.
So this woman then goes online and says her friend's comment was completely inappropriate. How dare she say this thing about her husband? And she's now blocked her.
Okay.
So I've not influenced Cindy Paluta in any way.
Is that
those
that's
are
all
the
we
bare
know.
bones of the story. Do you think the woman did the right thing? Was it justifiable? Or do you think...
I think there's no harm in the comment, but I think that woman has given her friend cause for concern in the past. And this was the final straw that broke the camel's back. So I think that she knows
something
that
we
her
don't.
friend can't be trusted, so that there's more to that. If Amor had to write on my status and say, oh, Theo is my type, I'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah, he is. He's so awesome, blah, blah, blah. But if I suspected that Amor in the past has flirted with him, tried to get in there, something, or I know what kind of friend she is and her behavior. So I don't think... I'm led to believe, because I've only just heard the story, that the blocking and whatever was based on this one.
Yeah, she
action.
doesn't say anything else. She doesn't say there's a history here. She says it purely on the basis of that comment. And by the
I
way,
would just reply and say, yeah, no, I'm so
this is a
lucky.
married woman too.
Yeah, I'd just be like, yeah, no, I'm so lucky.
That for me, so I don't think it was that deep.
No, it's not.
I honestly don't think it was that deep.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that if your person is stealable, can be stolen, steal away.
Also, if you
steal him.
Also, sometimes you don't need to create, drama in your marriage. You could just be like, a comment that your friend passed, you say, thanks so much.
And move
he
on.
is awesome. And move on.
It's not.
Otherwise, you're just going to
All right.
lead a drama-filled relationship for drama that, like, pick your battles.
Sanity has prevailed. Cindy
no.
agrees with me.
EWN Sport.
No, and I know
We've
you're
had colleagues from upstairs who've been listening on their way to work come into the studio booth and make all kinds of gestures and wag fingers.
And you know what? If I hadn't agreed with you, you wouldn't have said sanity has prevailed. You would have said, right, 702 Landers.
Let's talk about
this
sport.
This is not the answer.
Live
Phone
tennis
us.
at the Australian Open.
It's very dramatic at the Australian Open, and
Yeah?
I'll tell you why. Because Alcaraz leads Zverev 2-0, 6-4 and 7-6. And they're tied. Alcaraz has just taken the third, well, not taken, but he's 6-5 up in the third. But he is struggling with massive thigh injury at the moment. He's taken a medical timeout. He keeps getting that physio out there on the court, rubbing that thigh, and he's not giving 100% running on that baseline now. So 10 times, he will obviously win.
We hope.
Well, he should, but he's not he's operating at 60%, which is your average person's 150%. But it'll be very interesting to see. So, yeah.
Does a day give him enough time to recover?
Absolutely.
Till Sunday?
It's probably cramp.
Okay.
It's probably cramp. It's not he's not holding the back of the thigh, he's holding the sides of the thigh.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like just dehydration and cramp.
Look, they're in a tie break now for the
Yeah.
third set, so he's just got to hang on for this one.
Yeah.
And then go take the next day and a half to just go relax
Ice
until
bath.
Sunday.
Yeah. And the winner will then play Sinner or Djokovic. It'll probably be Sinner. And he would have to be at his absolute there's no
He'll
room
have to
for-
walk on water.
Although Sinner himself, he like wilts in the sun, he doesn't like the heat. So Alcaraz will be praying to all the heat gods that Sunday's a scorcher in Melbourne. Right? Tomorrow's women's final, though, between Sabalenka and Rybakina is a repeat of the 2023 final. Here's Rybakina on that 2023 game.
Yeah, last match we played here, it was very close, and in the end of this third set, I think Arina stepped in. She served much better, and she deserved that win. Hopefully, with all the experience which I got, I can bring it to Saturday match and do my best, fight till the end, and hopefully this time it's going to go my way.
Proteas are hitting good form ahead of next week's T20 World Cup. Last night, a 7-wicket win over the West Indies, including Quinton de Kock smashing 115, Rickleton 77 to get the win with 2 overs to spare. Wrap up the series with the last T20 tomorrow at the Wanderers. De Kock on how he hopes to keep the momentum going.
Just going through my processes like I always do, whether I'm playing well or not scoring any runs. It's pretty much the same process I've done for years. So that's pretty much what I'm doing, just carrying on doing that. Nothing to it, to really be honest.
In netball, Spa Proteas drew first blood in the test series with England winning the first test 52-48. Second test is tomorrow. Third test is on Sunday. All of this happening at Ellis Park Arena. There are still tickets available. In football, Mamelodi Sundowns have travelled to take on Al Hilal in the CAF Champions League tonight. The last match finished 2-2. One game in the Premiership later. It's Richards Bay hosting Arrows. Tomorrow, Pirates welcome Magesi. 5 Premier League games tomorrow, including Arsenal at Leeds, Chelsea host West Ham, Liverpool's playing Newcastle. On Sunday, third on the table, Aston Villa are taking on Brentford. Villa's sweating on Ollie Watkins. He pulled his hamstring in last night's Europa League win over Salzburg. Sevens rugby in Singapore this weekend. The Blitzboks are grouped with Spain, Great Britain and Fiji. Here's coach Philip Snyman.
We want to give some of our youngsters the opportunity, and obviously it will be brand new for them. They haven't played against any of the opposition, so we won't be focusing too much on easy pools or any games, just focus on ourselves.
And 2 big derbies in the URC tomorrow. The Lions host the Bulls at 2:30, followed by the Sharks against the Stormers. So if you do go down to Emirates Airline Park tomorrow to watch the Lions against the Bulls, straight after that game, you can swing over to the Ellis Park Arena and watch the netball. Isn't that something for the whole family? Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN.
14 to 9. Let's wrap up this morning's traffic. It's been a busy Friday, Amo.
It has been indeed, Bongani. If you are heading towards the city of Tshwane, please be on the lookout for those roadworks on the R21 North. If you're leaving Kempton Park at this particular time, do expect about a 20-minute hold up there. Or use the N1 North. It's free-flowing, in fact, through Midrand towards Centurion. While traveling on the N1 North and Sunning Hill, we've got an accident reported right near the Baku turnoff, causing delays from Rivonia Road. There's also still moving traffic on the M1 South between Grayston and Corlett Drive. Roadworks are causing these issues while traveling in Bedfordview, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the R24 as well as the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Baku Kilulis interchange. I will have more traffic updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
This weekend, 31 January, BYD invites you to drive the dream, because progress should be drivable. From your first car to growing your family or just wanting to explore the open roads, there's a BYD designed for your journey. Join BYD dealerships nationwide and stand a chance to win one of 10 BYD Dream experiences to the value of 20,000 Rand. BYD is powering your journey 1 kilowatt at a time. Book your test drive at the nearest BYD dealership. BYD, build your dreams. T's and C's apply.
Don't downgrade your vacation to a staycation. Upgrade the way you save. With a PSG tax-free savings account, saving towards that dream vacation isn't taxing. From just 500 Rand per month, save towards your goals. Invest up to 500,000 Rand in your lifetime, tax-free. To open a TFSA or top up your account before the tax year ends, speak to your PSG advisor or visit psg.co.za today. T's and C's apply. PSG Wealth Financial Planning Pty Limited is an authorized financial services provider. FSB 728.
You may not know this, but that genius, Albert Einstein, he never wore socks. Which proves that even the smartest people aren't always smart. But you can shop like an absolute genius at DecoFern Furniture with unbeatable deals on office chairs, desks, and much more. Plus up to 50% off end-of-range items. Work smarter, study smarter, and definitely shop smarter at DecoFern Furniture right now. In-store or at decofernsa.co.za.
The Checkers Hyper Price Drop is here. Save up to 40% on deals like Coca-Cola Assorted Soft Drinks 300ml 24-pack bottles for 159 Rand each. Cadbury Assorted Mini Chocolate Bags, any 5 for 199 Rand. Save 41 Rand. And Finish Dishwashing Tablets, 30s plus 14s Value Pack, buy 2 for 299 Rand. Save 61 Rand. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers Hyper.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee confirming you'll continue to pay the same amount on your debt, interest rates being kept on hold. Patrick Buthelezi is an economist.
And the reason why they reduced the inflation forecast is because of the currency that has been extremely strong. But now that is the one side. But the thing here is they are targeting inflation at about 3%, and they want to anchor inflation expectations at 3%.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa CIB. That's how we're invested in your story. Your story matters. Absa's a registered FSP.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
It's 10 to 9. The Clement Manyatela Show is on your radio between 9 and 12. And here he is in his golfing gear.
Good morning.
And his Bermuda shorts.
Bermuda?
What are they called? Those long shorts that you wear.
These?
Those golf shorts, yes. Those
these
very
Bermuda?
long ones. Bermuda shorts.
Yeah, it's shorts, but they're not as short as your shorts. That's
why they're called Bermudas. You disappear in them like the triangle.
Yeah.
Good morning. What's on the show today?
On the show today, we're going to talk about Cyril Ramaphosa, the president. Is he protecting his comrade Senzo Mchunu? I had a conversation with Vincent Magwenya last night.
He's on television,
yeah. And yeah, I wasn't convinced by his argument because I did give him examples of the president protecting his comrades in the past. So I'll play that clip and I'll ask the listeners what their thoughts are. We'll also touch on what Firoz Kachalia also told me on Face the Nation last night, that all the people that are on that list that are going to be investigated are now going to be put on precautionary suspension, which is great because we were talking a lot about this on the open line yesterday. And then there's this troubling video, I don't know if you've seen it, of this woman in KwaZulu-Natal taking part in an anti-foreigner protest. And she seemed to be directing derogatory remarks at the KZN police spokesperson, Robert Nechiwanda. So she questions, Ufunani la KZN wena umvenda hambi yosebenza laphaya. And I think this brings to the narrative a conversation we often want to avoid about tribalism and sometimes the statements that we make when we are with our small little groups.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a chat about that as well on the open line. And then 10 o'clock on Across the Desk, I'm hosting Traditional Healers. And then at 11 o'clock on our sex feature, Adult Radio, No Kids Allowed. Today, we're discussing sex toys. It's Adult Radio. There are people who sell sex toys. We're going to come to studio to also show us what they have on offer.
Wow.
So
you have to be an adult.
I guess you're
to be
sticking
part
around.
Of that conversation. I'm not adult enough. Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
Need a seat? Try 7 or 5. It's your call. Want a sunroof? Make it a panoramic. Gotta have power? How does award-winning 138 kilowatt sound? The Changan CS75 Pro is big enough for the kids, smart enough for your playlist, and stylish enough for your Friday night too. Why settle when you can have it all without compromise? The Changan CS75 Pro. Drive tomorrow's SUV today. Visit Changan Motors.co.za for more.
Chang'an, driven to evolve.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery, and unveiling benefits. Apply today. It's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Time now to talk about one of the most iconic stadia in all the world. We're focusing on one of Joburg's most iconic spaces, the Ellis Park precinct. We've invited Peter Berger, who's the managing director of Ellis Park, and this weekend, of course, as the Yuxke Derby, as they call it, lights up the Emirates Airline Park. That's what Ellis Park is now known as officially. The Lions are taking on the Bulls. And there's been a question for a little while now about whether sport can once again be the heartbeat of the inner city. Can we bring major events like this to revive energy and bring people back to real economic activity around the stadium? Peter Berger, very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani, to you and your listeners. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Ellis Park, and of course I know the official name is now Emirates Airline Park. It really is one of the most iconic sporting venues anywhere in the world.
Definitely is. Hopefully the name will change very soon as well. Emirates was a great partner to us, and we are currently in the market for a new partner. So as a couple of negotiations in advanced stages, and hopefully we will have a new name very soon.
So but back to Ellis Park.
Correct, it's back to Ellis Park. So it is an amazing, iconic stadium. I mean, there's been so many great memories for the country and for South Africans down here, and it's also very clear on an international stage in terms of the respect that Ellis Park as a venue demands from an international perspective as well. There's been, legends and centurions of professional rugby on an international stage that has rated Ellis Park as one of the best and the most intimidating stadiums that they've ever played in their professional careers.
Right, tomorrow, of course, the Yuxke Derby, as they call it, the Lions versus the Bulls. I mean, that clash is always massive, isn't it?
No, it is. It's always a fairly ingrained DNA, as much as rugby is in South Africans' DNA. The Yuxke Derby has and always will be very special as well. It's going to be a hard-fought contest. Both teams are in a fairly good space in terms of the competition and performance at the moment. And it's always a hard clash. And, it's going to be some great rugby.
Now, in terms of getting to and from the stadium safely, there are all sorts of plans that have been put in place. It's no longer just, you of course have the option to take your car and park, but there are other ways to get there as well.
You're 100% correct. So we've worked extremely hard over the last 4 years to ensure that, Ellis Park and doing a lot of good things. And in all fairness, maybe we need to accuse ourselves that we're not doing enough in terms of telling the good story and showing off, all of the successes that we've managed to achieve, not only as a collective done here, but with other stakeholders as well. So your first option, as you rightfully said, would be to come with your own car, come nice and early. There's some great, secure, clean facilities at Johannesburg Athletic Stadium where you can go and park your car, bring a braai, if you wanted to, and bring some chairs. There's some great oak trees with leaves that's driving me nuts once it starts dropping in the winter. But for now, it's still great shade. And then bring the family and let the kids have a dance off with each other. So that's one of the options. Your other options would be park and rides from various different nodes within Joburg and also Pretoria. That could be bought by ticket post on the website, if you'd like, on a coach, driving you safely down here, enjoying the match, and then driving you back. Alternatively, our friends with Praza and Gautrain partnered with us for the upcoming derbies. That means for the Yexke derby now on tomorrow, but I'm also looking forward to the Sharks and the Stormers late in February next month to utilize the Gautrain, going to Central Station, transferring to your brand new Praza train. 2 minutes, 34 seconds, and you're stopping and parking right in front of the old Ellis Park station that has opened up, and you can enter the stadium and then go back again. So various different options for commuters, depending on where they're coming from and how they would like to use it.
All right, you've done your work, your bit. You also, of course, want corporate partnerships to continue playing a role in helping Ellis Park thrive and indeed the entire precinct around the stadium.
100%, and that's something that we feel extremely strongly about. There are existing corporate partnerships, and maybe links up back earlier with a comment that I made about we need to start getting better at telling our story, which is something that we're actually busy planning on. There's some great corporates in the region and in the area that has taken hands along with all of us, along with each other, not just with the Lions or the Ellis Park Stadium, to really make an impact in terms of the bigger outer precinct and do a lot of work down here. Testament is what I just mentioned earlier, the option of the Gautrain and the Praza Link station. That's a great initiative. It was a great testament to excellent government stakeholder relations that we've managed to build up with different government departments, and all credit to them. Again, that station was closed for 42 years. It's open up now. We're one of the only stadia within Southern Africa that has got access to that, and that has got that relationship, and it's got that ability and flexibility. So along with other NGO, NPO, profit and non-profit organizations and entities that has been established, like Josie My Josie or the Urban Alliance that we all partners with, there's a couple of great corporates where we started getting involved with temporary job creation, permanent job creation in the region, fixing various different areas that has been, that needs attention as well, from a cleaning to a security perspective as well.
Peter, put your neck on the block. Who wins tomorrow?
Neck of the block, well, Lions. So I'm obviously working down here. My heart's red, so that's no contest. I believe in the boys. They really honestly can do it, and they deserve it. They've worked extremely hard. Not taking nothing away from the Bulls. It's going to be a hard-fought match.
It's going to be a great game of rugby. Appreciate your time. Peter Berger there, the Managing Director of Ellis Park Rugby Stadium.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Look, we've overstayed our welcome. It's 9:01. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Bali Dlamini. The recusal application by former Presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma for the chair of the TRC Cases Inquiry has been dismissed. Both Zuma and Mbeki wanted retired Justice Mbebe to recuse herself, citing bias on her part. The Commission is investigating alleged interference and concerted efforts to stop the prosecution of cases